I recently learned about a community on YouTube who uses something called light language to channel and communicate with aliens, and I just found it to be truly wild. So I've been practicing my light language, but I've been unable to get them on the line. I guess I just have bad service to the cosmic entities out there. So I fear my third eye may be forever closed. I might never experience the joy of tapping into that intergalactic Wi-Fi and communicating with these spacefaring organisms. However, not all is lost. I found a great YouTube channel called Skylife that actually did a really interesting video on it where she met with and interviewed an individual who claims to be able to communicate with aliens. I guess more accurately, she's able to allow alien communication through her as like a vessel, kind of like in SpongeBob when they have the magic conch. Like, she is the human magic conch for the 5G extraterrestrials out there. Now, this should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway in my own version of light language. Do not go harass anyone in this video. Don't be a fucking douchebag. No matter how you feel about alien channeling or communication or anything like that, just don't be a fucking asshole. One thing that I've learned about recently, I haven't watched this video, but there is I think she's a YouTuber who talks to aliens. And it's kind of similar to the Kundalini. She's able to tap into the alien hierarchy and speak their language to us.
If I weren't experiencing this reality, it would seem insane to me.
Do you believe you're an alien?
Definitely, I can open up a portal, speak your own version of light language as well.
See, like, I feel like aliens communicate with just orgasms. Because every time there's an alien channeler, they're just constantly busting.
Activation vibration. In this
Do we have anyone fluent in light language that can translate? Like, I know I couldn't pop that in a babblefish. Shit would just explode. You have any experts? You're dog shit, kid. Okay. I mean, that awfully long-winded for such a short sentence, but who am I to question the aliens?
they actually feel that they've come to Earth.
That was pretty low effort. At least the other ones are putting effort into making it sound like almost a language. Hers is just quiche, quiche, quiche.
They actually feel that they've
gotta work
come
on
to
that.
Earth from another part of the galaxy. She's coming.
Quiche, mama, quiche, quiche.
For like 2 years.
Welcome.
I've been feeling you like you've been coming through the realms recently.
What does that mean, coming through the realms?
Like you've been appearing in different realities, your name.
So I believe you're understanding the gist of it, where it's individuals who enter a trance-like state. Like, you know when you're really fucking turbo gaming and you just enter this flow state where everything just starts connecting? They enter that zone and then start speaking light language, which is their way of communicating with aliens, I believe, at least to my understanding. Now, one thing that I'd like to immediately question here is whether or not the individual Skylife is meeting with is actually the human or aliens using her like a fucking meat puppet. You know, there's no way of confirming whether or not there's a human soul in that body anymore, because maybe she went too deep. She got too lost into the cosmic vibrations, the chakras, and the aliens, you know, like you stare too long in the abyss and it stares back into you. The aliens have now taken over that body, right? Kind of like in Peacemaker with the butterflies. What a lovely
Where
portal.
I live, we call it the portal.
Really?
There's a
Whoa.
resonant vibe.
There's lots of synchronicities happening already.
There's
We have
so
the
much
Sekmet over here.
nothing
What's
words.
Sekmet.
What does that mean?
It's actually the
So
light
many
goddess from
synchronicities
Egypt.
and
He's a guy,
quarks.
but genders are. There's different crystals actually
I
aligned
saw a bottle
throughout
of
the
brain
place, all
juice.
set with intention to like hold a specific frequency so that you feel good, so that you feel nourished, so that you feel loved.
That's my favorite frequency. Is that FM or AM?
Can we talk about this beautiful altar?
Yeah, she likes
We have a
shungite
bunch
and
of
shit, which is
different
cool.
things that are energetically represented.
Rest in peace, any
and, like,
Wi-Fi
symbolic
signals trying to
of
penetrate
certain
here.
frequencies to invoke. Though I haven't eaten meat in 11 years,
Wow.
actually, until I just did ayahuasca 2 weeks ago, and I had
What's
this whole
that?
thing come through where it was like I partly identify with the fact that I've been vegan, that I haven't eaten meat for over 11 years, and I'm like, I need to dissolve that ego.
I want to sit down and really
Yes.
dive into all of this.
Let's do it.
So let's go back to
I like to imagine that situation. Fuck, I've been vegan for 11 years. I'm becoming too self-centered. Fucking starts blasting chicken nuggets and chicken wings. Alright, good. Now I'm humbled again. Back to being vegan. This story here really confused me. It was like veganism tenet. Like, I don't really know what she was trying to say. So I looked up ayahuasca because I'd never heard of that before, and it's apparently a plant-based psychedelic. So she basically had a trip and then was like, damn, I partly identify as being vegan. Which would make sense, right? Like, if you made the choice to be vegan, you should fully identify as being vegan. So why is it partly? And why is she looking at it as a negative thing? Perhaps this was like one of those weird out-of-body experiences. Like when Doctor Strange blasts fucking Spider-Man's soul out of his body and Tom Holland is like floating outside and he's like, damn. She must have had that happen. Like the ayahuasca just split soul from vessel. And she was like, shit, that's a vegan. And then what? Like, I don't know if because she said she didn't eat meat for 11 years until she did ayahuasca, so I'm assuming when she did, she started just fucking pounding meat, like gluttonous, grabbing pork, duck, veal, lamb, you know, all kinds of shit. Like, that's the impression I got. Like, she was a vegan for 11 years until ayahuasca, where she had this epiphany where it's like, gee willikers, I guess I was vegan. Time to dissolve that for some reason. And it might be my fault because I'm not fluent in light language, so I have a hard time wrapping my head around a concept this big brain, this galaxy brain. Like in the cosmic scale of intelligence, I'm still down here at like the primordial ooze, and she's somewhere towards like a level 3, like a type 3 civilization intelligence, I think. Because I couldn't even spell ayahuasca. I thought ayahuasca was like a small town somewhere in the Midwest. I didn't know it was a psychedelic or anything. And when I was Googling it, I had to spell it like 20 different ways before I finally found the correct spelling for the plant-based psychedelic. So really, it's probably just my lack of understanding because my brain isn't like truly opened. I'm not using 150% of all my neurons.
What's it called? A hand drum?
A handpan, but it's a space drum. It
It's
is
a UFO.
It's actually a spaceship.
In your lab.
It's a
that
cosmic
plays
instrument.
Sound frequencies that are like cosmic binaural beat sound frequencies that register to certain parts of your brain and activate certain awarenesses and consciousness.
It's like the secret space program instruments.
Feel. Same thing as light language.
I don't understand.
Unlocking our memories from our spacefaring days.
How do I do it?
It's kind of like I would love to.
I'd love to talk
create
to
a
some aliens,
space,
please.
A container to where you feel comfortable.
Say
and
what's
if you
up.
feel called to allow your soul
they have
to speak
Fortnite
your
out
own
there?
version of light language as well. And as I was meditating, these 3 light beings appeared on each side of my bed, like kind of what you would think an alien would look like, where they were really tall, their heads were different shapes, and their arms and their legs were more lengthy, and they had maybe about 3 or 4 fingers I couldn't
so like
fully see, but they weren't
you
physical
communicated
form,
with a
they were
Ninja Turtle.
emanations of light. I woke
But
up
you
the
were
next-
awake.
I was awake.
Imagine
I was not sleeping.
Mikey's
I
just
wasn't in a dream,
communicating
and
with
they
her.
lifted
It's like, I just
out
need a
my
pizza.
light body so I could see it. Almost. I started thinking about Arcturians. Arcturians.
Oh,
What are
yeah.
Arcturians?
So the name Arcturians just
Real quick, just to connect everything here, this is so serendipitous she decided to bring this up. I mean, maybe we are vibrating on the same frequencies thanks to this portal. The SSP, Secret Space Program, that's very big in Arcturians. So the Arcturians, they're a spacefaring lizard race, and they can also have shape-shifting abilities as well as vampirism. I think they can also be werewolves as well. So really, it all kind of blends together. So she might be speaking the truth. She could be a Secret Space Program member. Yeah, I'm sure all of you that accept the truth of our universe are very familiar with the Arcturians, very cunning, very intelligent beings out there. In Mass Effect, I'm sure they were somewhere in the Citadel as well. They're something that always gets brought up in pretty much every single conspiracy theory, that at least ones that involve space. I don't exactly understand why, but somehow Arcturians just always find their way into these communities.
Fully relaxing your nervous system.
Can we move the cat? It's gonna get caught in the crossfire beams. Oh shit. Fuck, I'm starting to transcend. And I don't even have like the eucalyptus oil on me or whatever. Oh my god. Oh, Kalimba!
Shwarasiki asha salafwa kapi as asham indiki asha safua.
It's coming!
mentioning it still.
Which is natural and normal, and that's a part of the fun, where it's like we forget so that we can remember.
My fear is that I'm just gonna make things up.
At first it may feel like that, but you have to give yourself permission, because that's still the ego doubting.
It's like
I'm gonna
the
be
exact
speaking to
opposite,
you
I would
as
think.
well. It'll be a conversation.
So from what I can tell here, the ritual, the sacred ceremony to start summoning the aliens here to our dimension consists of just laying down while having obscure instruments being played over top of you, I guess, to align your vibrational, frequency with the correct space frequency or something. I like when she brought out the kalimba, though. I actually had a kalimba myself for a while that I can't find now. Perhaps some kind of cosmic burglar came in to steal it because maybe kalimbas are too powerful an instrument. Maybe I was pretty close to summoning a dangerous alien here. But I had this kalimba and I could play the Teriyaki Boys on it from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. The dun 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 dun. Yeah, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So I was a little disappointed to see that she didn't break out into that solo there and get that pumping, because that probably would have summoned some fucking badass aliens. Like, the aliens would have come in and start talking about, like, fucking horsepower, diesel, suspension, shocks, and carburetors. They probably wouldn't have even summoned an alien, and they just probably would have brought in Dominic Toretto or something. I also really like that line, "We forget so that we can remember." That's basically just a Mudvayne song, "Forget to Remember." So maybe they're summoning the spirit of Mudvayne, I guess, trying to get that band back together.
Okay, so like bring your energy into our hands and let's activate
That was
the
profound.
energy. And so we're just gonna
Speak
be like
it.
kind of moving the torso.
Come on, let's go. Oh, she's falling into the galactic stream of vibrations. The chakras. Oh, fuck! It's a close encounter with the third kind! Be careful! It's too much energy! So you're gonna go turn into Dr. Manhattan! Who am I communicating with? Who's on the horn? Banish it! Ah! Get out of this realm! No! She's too deep! Alright, we're coming down. Fuck, that was close. She was tapped into the mainframe. Oh, now she's communicating with an alien comedian, huh? What's he saying? Good lord. Jesus! Let her go! Oh god, no! Jesus, have some class! These fucking cosmic beings! Stop it! Oh my god. Where did she travel?
Okay, that's it.
Sounds good.
The adventure continues.
Yep. Bye-bye. That was interesting. That was pretty good. Skibbity-dee-dee, boop-bada-bop. Boom-bottom-bop. That was me saying goodbye in light language. It does seem cathartic to just get the wiggles out and like just have a full body exorcism like that. I imagine that probably feels pretty good. I don't know if it necessarily makes me a believer in the communication with aliens through light language, but if nothing else, as long as it makes them happy, I guess that's what matters. It's not hurting anyone. It's pretty harmless. Just thought it was a pretty interesting and fun community to talk about and share a bit of. And anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. I recently got into a massive argument with my own chat about aliens visiting Earth, which is a crazy war to have fought. It was a bloody battle. I'm sure most of you know, because I've talked about it before, my dad is super into aliens. He firmly believes they've helped us build the pyramids, given us fiber optic internet. I'm surprised he hasn't started talking about aliens, how they farted 5G onto our planet or something. Like, he's big into the aliens thing and always has been since I was a kid, so I've been inundated with all kinds of alien stuff ever since I was young. So I have loved the field, but I have never been a believer that aliens have ever visited this planet, ever. I do think there is life outside of our planet, obviously, in the massive, unfathomably huge scope of the universe. I think it's unlikely there's no other life out there, but I don't think it's ever visited us. It would have to have somehow found faster than light travel, wormhole, something, which is so far above our comprehension that if they did actually do it, we wouldn't have even been able to process them visiting us, I imagine. Like, it is just so well beyond us that I just don't think it's happened. So I have been firmly against the idea that aliens have visited us, but I've always been open-minded in wanting it to be true. I would love to be able to fist bump my dad, be like, hey, Pops, you were right. And here's proof of the aliens having visited us. I did a keg stand with one of them at my frat brother's last party. Like, that'd be great, you know? But I've just never seen any compelling evidence about it. And we got to talking about it on stream, and a couple of chatters were very adamant that I was off my gourd for not believing every single abduction story ever told and every single sighting ever made, including the recent Las Vegas one, which was confirmed to just be casino lights reflected in the fucking sky, but they're writing that off as it was like a cover-up for aliens. Like, it's outrageous. In order to convert me to their side, to believe in them, to persuade me, they would tell like these anecdotes. Like, I read this story once on these forums where, you know, this guy's friend Eric was playing basketball in his driveway one evening, and then all of a sudden everything went white and his memory was erased, but he had his butthole prolapse. Like, the anal prolapse is signs of the aliens having experimented on him, and he lost 6 hours of memories. How is that proof? Why am I supposed to take that at face value? But they would drop these things like the Eric butthole incident and have me look it up and be like, how can you not believe us? This is ridiculous. You're spitting in the face of real proof. So I was losing my goddamn mind having this argument with them, and eventually we ended up going to something called like the Ariel School incident, which is a school in Zimbabwe which claims to have been visited by aliens, where 62 school children drew in crayon their encounter with a UFO and aliens who warned them about the future. And I got called crazy for doubting the legitimacy of it because you have 62 school students that drew very different crayon drawings that don't agree with one another. Some of the drawings have them coming down in a goddamn space potato. Others have like this elaborate, huge UFO, very generic. And then the aliens, they can't even agree on what they looked like. Some claim that they had long black hair, so literally fucking looking like me coming out of the spaceship. Some of them drew the aliens bald, like very generic alien baldness. Like, none of the kids' drawings even like agree with others. Like, it's such weak evidence, but they're using it as fact. Like, how could anyone doubt us when this exists? So I'm just going to show you some of the clips from the stream because it got heated. And then we opened Pandora's box and started talking about warp drives for some reason. It got off the rails. It got a little crazy. So I just wanted to show some of that. But I want to make it clear. I would love if there was real compelling evidence of aliens having visited us. Like actual encounters with aliens. That'd be great. And there have been government-released documents and footage from pilots and shit from unidentified flying aircrafts, this unidentified air phenomenon, but none of it's like aliens per se. It's just we don't fully understand exactly how it works, so it's unidentified as of the moment. It's never definitive proof of aliens being here. It's just we don't have a full explanation on it yet. But it could be. Yeah, it could be, and I find that stuff to be pretty interesting. But I don't view that as, hey, here's proof that extraterrestrials are here for some reason. But anyway, let me just show you how the stream went. A leading UFO expert has investigated dozens of sightings over an impressive 45-year career and says aliens don't come in peace and have an agenda. I wonder what the agenda is. They come down here just to read our dank memes, shitpost on Twitter. I wouldn't say they're peaceful due to the thousands of UFO abductions worldwide. I woke up and my ass is sore. Damn you, aliens! Not again! I've been a big fan of aliens shit, UFO investigative shit for a long time. I have never once read, watched, or listened to a compelling abduction story that made me be like, this man actually he got abducted. At no point did I ever once even remotely come close to believing any of the abduction stories. Have you seen that documentary about a guy with 9 alien kids? What is that? What are we talking? What? No, I can't say I've seen that. What the fuck does that? He has 9 kids with extraterrestrials? This man's spreading the humanity seed throughout the cosmos? There were 30 plus kids who saw aliens at their school and drew them. If there is one group that I trust more than anyone, it's kids. They're notorious for not having an imagination and not just going with what everyone else is doing. That's what I would hinge my alien evidence on, is children's drawings. Being in all black, possibly showing medium long black hair. Were the aliens just clones of me or something? What do you mean? The aliens have normal human hair? Well, there's no hair here. One of them was bald, I guess. Maybe he got made fun of on the ship. Not only would the beings have to have somehow discovered faster than light travel to make it here, it would have somehow had to elude everyone else's gaze and have only a couple people, in this case 62 school children, see them. Like, the amount of crazy coincidence that must all occur for only a small group to see that is very unlikely. I'm ready to... There is nobody on the planet that wants alien encounters to be real more than me. If this has compelling evidence, I would be elated. I would love that. I want to believe. But it is so unbelievably unlikely, and all of the evidence is so shit that it's impossible, in good conscience, to believe that there are aliens that visit us periodically. The circumstances for such a thing to be true are very, 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 very low possibility. So for multiple days, there have been headlines of UFOs hovering over the skies of Zimbabwe. And the only evidence we have is some children's drawings. Surely that would be major fucking news. And also, why would the aliens just be hovering over Zimbabwe? What are they doing there? They're just hovering there, doing nothing. Standing there menacingly like the hash-slinging slasher. What would be the purpose? Why would they have come there? Let's go down this for a minute. So the aliens came here to warn us about the future. And the optimal way of warning us was to go to a small school in Zimbabwe and tell a group of children. That was the best way of delivering this warning of the future. They were talking about COVID. Imagine this is all very true. The aliens actually did just fucking boot, scoot, and boogie all the way down to Earth just to land here and be like, hey, there's this little thing called COVID. I'm letting you know it's right around the corner. No good. No good. All right. Good luck with that. We're out. We've done our job. Message delivered. I don't think they were visited by aliens warning us about the future. Let's play with that for just a moment. Going back to that. Not only were they intergalactic travelers, they're fucking time travelers, warning us about our future. That's another crazy technological leap. And if they're that smart, that advanced, why would they tell a group of children at a small school? And also, why would they ever even make direct contact with people? They could just transmit the message. There's millions of cases. So what you've just shown to me is you believe what everyone says. You don't believe anyone's making things up. You don't believe in people having, for example, a sleep terror, which a lot of it boils down to sleep paralysis, where they have these very real feelings at night, where they're half asleep, half dreaming, and a lot of it gets chalked up to sleep paralysis. So you don't believe in any of that. You don't believe in mass hysteria, I would imagine then. You don't believe in manifested group thinking, where if someone believes they saw something, other people mysteriously start to have memories or visions of the same thing. You just take everything at face value, and no one's ever lying. Oh, wow. Jesus, you're having a full meltdown. Anal probing isn't even a real thing, you moron. You get all your UFO info from fucking movies and TV. You get all of your UFO info from fucking TV, too! What do you mean? All of your sightings are on TV. What are you fucking talking about? And then you said reptilians are part of the aliens. And faster than light is an outdated theory. warp drives are proven. You're misinformed. What are you... What? Are you having an episode of psychosis? Jack Sarfati talks about the technology behind warp drives. Who mentioned fucking warp drives? I don't know why you're harping on that subject. That word had not left my mouth until I read your comment history of your 86 message meltdown. I'm not talking about fucking warp drives! Why do I need to do research on warp drives? That goddamn name didn't leave my mouth. He brought it up. But warp drives are an important part of alien lore. Maybe, but I wasn't talking about fucking warp drives. Jesus Christ. You asked for answers. On what? Warp drive? When did I ask for answers on warp drive? I want alien evidence. What the fuck are you talking about? Who am I talking? That is evidence? So, let's assume every alien has their own warp drive motorcycle. Why are they visiting trailer parks and fucking small schools to warn us about the future, then only telling children? That isn't an answer. You weirdo. That chatter didn't read jack shit. It's theoretical physicist, meaning it hasn't been put into effect and there's no way to test any theories. I don't care about warp drives if they're real or not. God damn it. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, things are getting real weird right now in the world. I'm sure you've all seen the UFO hysteria. Every couple hours it seems like a new UFO is being identified and blasted out of the sky. This is a phenomenon that's happening around the world, it seems, and it's leading people to believe that aliens are coming to visit us in droves, like they're all taking a school field trip to planet Earth, and then subsequently getting shot down, which I can't imagine would have been part of their itinerary. Now, this all started with the spy balloon that the US shot down. Basically, this balloon the size of a few school buses was identified and then executed. Just this giant balloon that looked like the house from Up, but instead of a house, it was just a surveillance device, which they said came from China, and from what I've read, China did take ownership of it, but called it an overreaction to shoot it down, which gave me a bit of a giggle, because I just love that image of like, hey, whoa, guys. Hey, cool the jets a little bit here, calm down, you know? No need to get so rambunctious and shoot it down. Which is just a silly thought, but this kind of opened the floodgates to UFOs, like inviting this unknown menace in, because now UFOs are being sighted every day, every couple of hours really, across the world. A few hours ago, China said that it was preparing to shoot down an unidentified flying object, so they're all over the place. It's a very interesting situation, and this is even more weird considering I just posted a video going over aliens and how I don't believe they've ever visited Earth, and now 2 days later, we've got UFOs out the wazoo here. Maybe the madman I was arguing with on Twitch was right about warp drives, and they're fucking firing on turbo mode with their warp drive technology to visit us here. I'll go ahead and give my perspective now. I still am not convinced it's aliens, because if it was, we stand 0% chance of actually shooting them down. Our technology wouldn't even begin to make them, like, consider us a threat. We are so laughably low on the technological food chain of a species that can visit our planet, because they would have cracked things that are beyond our comprehension. There's no way they'd somehow fall victim to our weaponry. But zoinks Scoob, I'll tell ya, I couldn't be happier to be proven wrong. I would love if this truly was extraterrestrial tourists just coming by to visit, though I'm sure they wouldn't be happy about us destroying their, like, balloon travel devices, but god damn it, that would be amazing. I also love the idea that it actually is alien visitors, and the way that they get here is through, like, hot air balloon through space. Like, the most inefficient means of travel imaginable, but somehow that's the one that they've chosen. But regardless, I would love if it was aliens. I also love the discussion around aliens right now. You'll have people giving all kinds of, like, evidence, once again, of, like, abductions and shit. I fell asleep one day while working on the construction site, and when I woke up, there was ejaculate in my pants. And I didn't even remember having a wet dream. Fucking aliens abducted me and jerked me off in order to frame me to look like a weirdo at my job. You know, like, discussion around aliens has never been hotter than right now. And again, I would love if these UFOs really were alien, but I'm doubtful. And you know what? Maybe I could even make an argument for why aliens might want to visit Earth. Maybe they're coming here to buy Moist Global merch from moistglobal.com. It's so comfortable that words traveled across the galaxy. It's the best fucking merch ever designed, and they know it. So they have to come to Earth in order to get like proper connection to the server, so that way they can purchase it. And you can too. It's all available at moistglobal.com. Right now we're doing a special 15% off on all Moist Esports merch, so definitely feel free to check all that out if you're interested. moistglobal.com, baby. Anyway, though, I find all this very exciting, even though I'm not fully sold on it being aliens. I am very curious to learn more about all of this, because I'm sure tons of information will start to surface about what these UFOs actually are, what their purpose is, where they come from, all that kind of shit. So, very interesting time period. I'll show you some clips from stream where we talked about it a little bit more. You see the UFO videos over Canada. Is there video of it? I only saw the picture of the one that got shot down. Let's see. NORAD stated that they lost Santa's tracking signal. I fear the worst. Oh god. Heaven have mercy on the elves. Yeah, that's what we have up right here, the Canada UFO thing. Someone said there was a video, but I haven't found it yet, aside from the cell phone one where you can't see shit. I hope it's aliens. But all the pictures make it seem like it's probably another balloon. NORAD just said they locked up airspace in Montana. Something came up on the radar and disappearing. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say what everyone's thinking. It's no coincidence that Tom Brady retired and now all of a sudden aliens keep popping up. He was keeping us safe both on the field and off the field. The FAA has released a statement. The FAA has closed some airspace over northern Montana to support the Department of Defense operations. Contact NORAD for additional information. I'm also going to say that I really don't think it's anything extraterrestrial. There's no way that we would ever be able to fight back against something that could actually visit us. It'd be impossible. It's definitely more spy balloons or some kind of surveillance tech from somewhere on Earth. There'd be no shot we'd successfully shoot that shit down. Let alone ever see it. Yeah, maybe drones too. Could be any of that. You should go check it out, get us the real inside scoop. You know what Mr. Beast should do? He put out a tweet saying, would you vote for me for president? He should become president and just release all of the information they have about aliens. That'd be so hype. That video would be huge too, by the way. The views on that would be outrageous. Like, last to leave the circle gets all of the Area 51 documents. Yeah, and all of them are so fucking weak that they get shot down by primitive human technology. They can travel across the cosmos with technology we can't even begin to comprehend, yet they get shot down by our fucking jets. How embarrassing. A fun thought, though. They spec'd all of their points into travel and nothing into defense, so they're just full glass cannon build. Well, it wouldn't even be glass cannon. Glass wheel. So you talked about aliens 4 days ago, and they visit Montana and Alaska today. Thoughts? Hey, I think it's all connected. Maybe the aliens watch my streams and shit. They're like, oh fuck, he's talking about us. Alright, we'll show ourselves a little more often. That stream was fire. Aliens have come here to compete for Moist Esports. We talked about it on stream. If aliens do visit us, we want to be the ones to make first contact so we can sign them to Moist Esports. Imagine the position that gives us. They would be dog shit at video games. They don't need to go pro in any game. They can just be like content creators for us. Brand ambassadors. Yeah, pretty much. What do you mean? No, like if the aliens actually did show up and, you know, for some reason we negotiated a really good contract for them with Moist Esports, I think they wouldn't even need to really do anything special. But like if they're releasing the little balloons that we're shooting down, maybe fill one of those balloons with like, I don't know, maybe Moist Esports merch or something, right? Or even paint it blue, like Moist Esports colors. Like they wouldn't need to do anything special for us. They can keep doing what they're doing, but under the Moist Esports umbrella. What if the aliens break TOS? I mean, that's fine. We'd have to teach them the guidelines and shit. Plus, I doubt they'd want to go that hard anyway. Like right now, all they're doing is getting shot down. Like they're not doing anything too risky. Much to the delight of my entire family, today we have received some groundbreaking news in regards to aliens. feel like I'm giving some kind of press conference here about it because I feel so personally invested in it. For my entire life, my family has always firmly believed that extraterrestrials have not only visited this planet but made contact with us, and we've like recovered some spacecrafts and all kinds of gadgets and gizmos that the government isn't telling us. And now they've received some vindication that that belief might be the truth. Today there was a hearing with a gentleman named David Grush who was claiming that not only have aliens come to this planet, but we have recovered some wreckage, some items, even some bodies, perhaps. And this is all sworn under oath. And he is a pretty credible source, all things considered. He was a military intelligence officer for about 14 years. He had, from what I understand, from what I've researched here, pretty high level clearance. He was a pretty important person in his post, and he is now putting all of this public at this hearing. Now, he hasn't presented any concrete evidence or any evidence like that, any proof, but his claims, he says, do have not only eyewitness supports, but real concrete proof, irrefutable evidence that he is unable to share publicly, but is able to share in private with Congress. So it's a very interesting development. I'll go over it a little bit more in depth. I talked about it on stream today. Overall, though, I don't think you're going to find anyone happier about this news than my dad. After the hearing today, my dad called me just full of jubilation. It was like a kid on Christmas. He was giddy, like a high schooler that actually just got a date to prom. My dad called me, laid out all of the details of what happened in the hearing, and was just so happy to hear someone that has credibility say these things because it gets him excited to hear it. He really wants to see alien proof and get to experience that truth coming to light. So this was a really cool day overall for me and my family. I still don't fully believe it, if I'm being honest, because he hasn't provided any proof. It's very hard for me to just take everyone at their word. I understand lying under oath is a serious offense, but it's not like that's never happened before. You know, you really think someone would do that? Go under oath and tell lies? Absolutely, for sure. It has happened before. It will happen again. I'm not saying it happened right now, but I just don't take anything at just the face value of the claims. I would like to see some of the evidence here. So I'm very excited to learn more about it. This has got me fucking salivating for more information and more details about all of the things that he's claiming. So let me just go ahead and play the stream clips now to bring you up to speed on what went down. How many aliens could we take in a fight? Well, according to David Grush, we stand no chance at actually fighting them, apparently. Which, I have always said, if they are real and have visited us, well, I think aliens are real in the universe at some point. I personally haven't ever thought they visited us, but I've always said if they did, we would stand no chance. We would stand legitimately no chance. It'd be like putting a child up against, like, John Bones Jones. Like, you're never gonna win, right? And that's kind of what he said, too. One of the questions was, are our weapons sufficient to defend ourselves against them? Or something to that effect. And his answer was, absolutely not. According to my dad. So, like I said, I haven't watched the hearing yet. But once it was over, my dad called me, like, damn near celebrating. I could hear kazoos going off in the background. He's like, I told you, Charlie. I told you this day would come, that we'd have legitimate confirmation from reputable sources that aliens have come here. And he was filling me in. He was giving me the nitty-gritty behind everything here. But for those that don't know the situation, David Grush is a former military intelligence officer. We talked about him a little while ago. He is the real deal. He is who he says he is. And he does have actual pretty high-level clearance, as I understand it. And a little bit ago, he came to the public. Well, he made public statements that extraterrestrial visitors have not only been here, but have been observed, and in even certain situations, we have recovered some of their shit. And they had a hearing about this today. These are huge claims. Now, granted, he has not provided any evidence. He hasn't linked to, their social media accounts for us to double check or anything. We don't have any pictures or anything. Like, he doesn't have a picture of an alien doing a keg stand outside of Area 51 or anything. But he is a high-ranking intelligence officer who is making these claims. So it has more weight to it than most. So they had this hearing today. just kind of going over the scope of it, bringing everyone up to speed. And very interesting. He was asked point blank if there's any real biological indication that what they have is not of human origin. And he says, yes, it is not human. When asked how many people are aware of this, like in terms of like unidentified aerial phenomena, he said thousands of pilots have reported them but are either too embarrassed to come forward thinking people will call them crazy, or are unable to come forward because of like crackdowns, something like that. Evidence should be king here. Well, he's not on trial. There's no burden of proof here. This is a hearing just to get all the information. He did say he has all of the evidence but is unable to bring it forward to the public, but is willing to share it with Congress in what's called a skiff, I think, is what my dad called it, or my dad's just making up terms to make me sound like a fucking idiot. I've never heard of that before, but apparently it's like a private hearing, and he said he's more than willing to give over all of the evidence he has on all of his claims in the private skiff. Yeah, that's a real thing? Okay. I've never heard of that. But one thing that I said was very fishy from the start about this story is David Grush actually had expressed written permission from the DOD to come forward with alien information. So to me, he's not really a whistleblower. He's more of like a spokesperson. I don't think that necessarily pokes holes in the credibility of the claims, I guess. But it is very interesting that they're labeling him a whistleblower when he literally has permission from the teacher. You know, this isn't a guy that fucking crawled through the trenches and threw up a signal in the sky in order to get us the information. He had permission. He had their blessing. Why is he doing this? We'll have his answer and then I'll give you my answer. He believes that he's doing the public a great service by bringing this information forward, thinking that we need to be brought into the loop here, brought into the fold in an ever-growing situation here with advanced life forms. I think the reason is distraction. I think all of this is serving as a big kind of distraction for what? I don't know. But I just find it so odd that the DOD would be like super on board with it and let him do all of this. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the distraction would be for, but I mean, here, let's spitball some tinfoil hat shit. Let's assume I'm right and it's all a distraction. I guess what they could do next is make claims like they need to build defense systems in order to combat potential extraterrestrials, like these big-titted goth babe aliens coming to Earth looking to harvest us. We've got to stop it. So we're going to need to increase our spending on defense programs in order to make sure that we're adequately prepared for it. But I would love to believe that this is all very legitimate. David Grush legitimately has real evidence. Aliens are real. We've recovered certain things, and he can prove all of it. That's what I want. But what I really believe is that this is all somehow a distraction. That's where I'm really torn. I don't know. This is, to date, probably the most credible person to come forward with apparently other witnesses of high-ranking military origin with evidence. And we now have more access to unidentified aerial phenomena than ever. That's very hard to explain. So this is probably as credible as it's ever been. But I just don't know. It just feels artificial. He said it all under oath. If he's lying, he just ruined his life. Yeah, of course. But there is a huge difference between a testimonial and evidence. We've heard the testimonial. It's all under oath, of course. But we haven't seen any evidence yet. The Israeli space chief said the Galactic Federation is in contact with America last year. The DoD doesn't support. They just released him to say what he believes is a classified program. That's the only other comment. But that's still giving their blessing. Otherwise, they would have shut him down like they do most other whistleblowers. For example, like Edward Snowden, right? Like I feel like if they didn't want it out, it wouldn't have got out. And I don't know what the Galactic Federation is. I didn't realize we had Commander Shepard out there on the fucking Mass Effect relay at the Citadel or something talking to us. That's news to me. If this is all real, do you think they would ever tell the public the full story? No. If not, why do you think they need to hide it? Panic. Brother, we can't even handle the most basic concepts right now. Go on Twitter for any length of time, or excuse me, the platform formerly known as Twitter, for any length of time. People won't even accept the most obvious, conclusive, true statements anymore. We are not ready for it. Why do we have any reason to listen to them when they provide no evidence? Because of where the claim is coming from. This isn't just like a Joe Schmo. This guy was a high-ranking military intelligence officer for like 14 years. Not exactly like the number one person you'd think to just go out there and lie for no real benefit to himself. No, he didn't say if the aliens were hot or not yet. I'm going to assume no. I've always thought if there were aliens out there, they'd be like insectoid-esque. How would the government even capture the spacecraft? That's exactly what I said. I have no idea. The only thing that I could even somewhat spitball a guess, assuming it's all real, is they recovered wreckage from a spacecraft that blew up somewhere in space and drifted onto Earth and crashed somewhere. I don't think it came to Earth and then crashed. It certainly wasn't shot down. Apparently he even claimed we have no chance of even, like, defending ourselves against them. So it would have just had to be like a drifting piece of something. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you can't crash. Brother, you're not just smart. If you have something that can reach Earth, that means you have something that defies our very understanding, and this is even according to David, apparently. This is what my dad said, and he's right. That means you have something that is so far beyond our comprehension we can't even prove that what we're seeing would be real. You wouldn't just crash on Earth. The only thing that I could even think would be the case is, again, something happened, maybe it hits asteroids out in space and a piece of it breaks off and lands on Earth, crashes into Earth. It wouldn't crash when it gets to Earth. They can travel the galaxy without problem, but when they get to Earth, all of a sudden they're crashing everywhere. I don't think he was claiming that there's been a ton of crashes. Just a ton of sightings. And apparently they do have in their possession some UAP fragments and shit. And I guess bodies too. Aliens heard about your performance in the Hunger Games and needed to come see it firsthand. See, like, there's a theory I'd actually subscribe to. That one would make sense. But why are the aliens here? COVID? That's probably why. COVID hit their planet real hard and they were trying to escape. Or maybe they're here to collect COVID from us. They have like a virus museum or something and they need COVID to be part of it.
I'm asking Congress to hold our government to this standard and thoroughly investigate these claims.
God, imagine if you brought in an
but
alien.
As I stand here under oath now,
Actions speak louder than words. Come in here, Glorb.
Told them. In a position of extreme trust, both in my military and civilian capacities. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
Oh, that was one of the other questions they apparently asked pretty soon, is if anyone ever got injured reverse engineering any UAPs. And he said yes. But again, there's no evidence.
To which I was denied access.
I hope there will
to
be at some point.
When
In what possible sense is he credible just because of his position? Yeah, what? Yeah, obviously. A 14-year high-ranking military intelligence officer with, like, actually pretty impressive clearance? Yes. That is what would make him credible. Yeah. It's like what makes everyone credible is their position. Like, if it was me saying all of this, it would be completely uncredible. I'm a worthless source. Right now, all it seems like is that they've made him a celebrity with an official endorsement from the DoD. Which seems very weird for a whistleblower to get that kind of glamour from the people he's blowing the whistle on. I disagree. How? Look at all the other whistleblowers like Edward Snowden. Look what happened to him. Oh, here's another one. An easy one. Epstein got fucking murdered when he was about to blow the whole lid off of that crazy operation. If there's something they don't want released, it will not get released. Do you think me a fool? Do you really think there would be groundbreaking new alien information and I wouldn't know about it? Ridiculous. I stay at the forefront of all alien developments. I love alien shit. Last night, there was a surprise broadcast from Mexican Congress where they presented supposed alien corpses. And you bet your sweet bippy I was glued to it. Now, I want to start by laying out the foundation here. I'm going to give you all of the eating utensils before feeding you the meal. Basically, what happened is there is a individual by the name of Jaime Maussan, and he claimed that he had 1,000-year-old alien bodies that he presented at Mexican Congress. There's a lot of confusion around this situation right now. People are misled into believing that this was the Mexican government coming forward and just dropping this hot potato on everyone out of nowhere, when that's not the case. This is from an individual, Jaime Maussan, who is a UFOologist and researcher, and he is presenting all of it. And this isn't even his first time doing it. In 2017, he presented yet another mummified alien corpse, not human, but it was later debunked and proven to not be alien at all. So he has done this before, but this time around he's presenting new corpses and also claiming that there's been extensive research, studies, tests, and scientists working on it to confirm that these are 100% real, authentic, extraterrestrial visitors. Now, he and his team are saying that all of this information is available for any scientists around the world to confirm their findings, which I think is great. Inviting research into these is fantastic, and I guess we can finally know for certain if he's being truthful here, and these are somehow actually alien bodies. I guess they came down to Earth for fucking spring break and just, they lost control of themselves, maybe drank too much and died of liver failure. I have no fucking clue. But we have these corpses from 1,000 years ago. He's claiming these are mummified aliens and has a bunch of tests, allegedly, that they've run on them, and is inviting the rest of the world to do the same. So I'm excited to see if the rest of the world does that, and if they also confirm all of these findings. But now, let's get into talking about the aliens themselves, and then I want to bring on an expert, my father. You all know my father is on the cutting edge of everything alien related. If anyone's going to have an eye to see through the bullshit, it's gonna be old Papa Charles, I'll tell you right now. Oh, it's a little carcass. I couldn't even tell. I don't believe that at all. This is way too stereotypical alien look. I think there is no way. I think there's absolutely no fucking shot. I just don't believe that, though. If this looked actually less like all of the movies depict aliens, I'd be far more on the side of, possibly. But this actually just looks like a prop. From, like, Arrival. Or, not Arrival. What's the, oh my god. What is the one that has the really quintessential grays from back in the day? I can't remember now. They even made, like, little postcards for them. Like, you're invited. Okay. Pretty cool. It'd be wild if these were real and our movie depictions of aliens were spot on. That would be crazy. That would be big. But I don't see why they would bother faking this. I don't see what the gain is other than, like, a good joke. Humano? No humano. I understand that. I feel like aliens are likely to look like giant insects. I think they'd be insectoid as well. Your father would disagree? I don't think he'd believe this. This looks very silly. And especially just to drop it cold turkey out of nowhere on a YouTube stream. Well, I guess it was more than a YouTube stream. This just happens to be one of the places it was broadcast. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So they put it into a database that is able to be accessed by anyone to verify their claims. They show a list of tests that have been done to the bodies, including metallurgy specialists, radiologists, and geneticists. They verified the authenticity and age of the bodies. They showed scans of their insides that showed metal implants in some of them, as well as eggs with embryos and organic material inside of them. Okay, well, if anyone can access it, it should be super easy for every other scientist in the world to start running tests on it, then to confirm it. That should be an easy slam dunk then if it's real. Oh, it's a 43 gig file. Holy shit. Well, if it's all there, then put it in the labs of the brightest scientists in the world. They'd all want to get a piece of that action, I imagine. Let them run wild. We could win the alien war if they actually look like that. In hand-to-hand combat, for sure. But their tech to get here must be nuts. So now let's go ahead and break down what we've seen here. Judging from the bodies, they're not that large. They're not, like, imposing in stature. I actually feel confident that I could beat them in a fight, whereas normally the only age group I'm comfortable at beating in hand-to-hand combat is ages 12 and below. I feel like there's just not many children that would beat me in pugilistic combat, and I feel the same for this alien race if they're all about that same size. And who's to say that these aren't like their elite warriors and the normal aliens could be even smaller? Like, I feel like I'd have no problem just wiping the fucking floor with them, just feeding them knuckle sandwiches out the wazoo. So that's nice. That makes me feel a lot more confident should this be a real alien, and they all look like that. I feel like we'd have a really good chance if it came to, like, fighting them with our bare hands. Now, apparently one of the aliens also had eggs inside of it, so I guess it was pregnant. Maybe it's possible we could dust the cobwebs off and hatch those puppies ourselves. That would be pretty wild. But now anyway, you've heard from the dumb Neanderthal, Charles White Jr., but let's hear from the preeminent expert in alien research, Charles White Sr. I've given you my perspective. I don't necessarily believe this, but I'm going to withhold full judgment for the rest of the world's scientific studies on these bodies. Hopefully those results and those studies will be conducted soon. But let's see what my dad had to say.
Me.
Hey.
What's up?
You look at the alien corpses?
No. Where's that?
How have you not seen them yet? Go look at them right now and tell me what you think.
I'm working on the Top Fuel dragster.
Well, the Top Fuel dragster can wait. You gotta see the alien corpses. I need an expert's opinion.
Why do you care? What, because you want to make fun of me?
I'm not making fun of you. I just want to know what you think about it.
So where do they claim they got these things from?
The Nazca lines. They claim they're 1,000 years old.
Well, I know all about the Nazca lines.
Yeah, I knew you would.
They look awful small. I mean, I don't, to me, it looks like a fucking paper mache rock or something.
So, you don't think it's real alien evidence?
I don't think it's real. I mean, not to me. That's not real alien evidence. That could be any video. Hell, I could build that myself. With some paper mache.
Okay. All right. So this one does not have your stamp of approval as legitimate.
No. But all the other shit in the world does, like all the construction and all the other stuff. I mean, this is like, I don't know. This is too phony to me.
All right, so it's not as convincing to you as Puma Punku and all that.
Fuck no, not even close.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. If my dad doesn't believe it's real alien evidence, then dag nabbit, it's just not real alien evidence at the end of the day. So he's not super convinced of it. He's of course going to keep his finger on the pulse, as will I. Since they are inviting the rest of the world to study these mummified remains, I'm hoping that we'll get some conclusive yeses or nos on if it's extraterrestrial or not. I feel like that shouldn't be super hard to prove if it's a fucking alien, if it's something that we've never seen before, and, I feel like that'd be kind of easy if it's all real, but we'll wait and see. Either way, it was still just a wild development from out of nowhere, so definitely wanted to talk about it. That's really about it. So yeah. What an incredible day for father-son bonding between me and my dad. With all of the alien information that's come to light today, with the Mexican Congress broadcasting some alien corpses, supposedly, my dad and I have been going back and forth spitballing, and I have been doing a deep dive into the most rancid underbelly the internet has to offer when it comes to alien information. Sometimes when you stare too long into the abyss stares back into you. I'll tell you what, sports fans, if there are aliens out there, I'm on their watch list for how deep I've gone. I'm on their ass like a hemorrhoid right now. I'm having a close encounter with a third kind. You might see my eyes roll back into my skull and have me levitating out of the chair here in a moment. Point is, I have found some very intriguing information in regards to these alien bodies. But let me bring you up to speed just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. I posted a video earlier today going over the whole situation, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it by now, but I'm just going to give you the cliff notes, bring you up to speed on the lore with what's going on. Last night, an individual named Jaime Musan had brought some supposed alien bodies into Mexican Congress, and this was broadcast to the entire world. He was making claims that these are authentic extraterrestrials, and he had a ton of tests to prove it. All the tests and all the information is public, and he invited anyone else in the world to come into the Thunderdome and analyze the alien bodies to confirm and verify that these are the real deal. Unfortunately, these aliens don't have 3 massive honkers. They're not goth, big-titted alien babes. They are little goofballs. These tiny little goobers are being shown in Congress, and he's bringing up a ton of pictures as well as data and saying that they were found at the Nazca Lines. They're about 1,000 years old, and they are actual aliens. Now, a little background on Jaime Maussan. He is a UFOologist and a journalist. His main profession is journalism. And this is not the first time he's done this. He also had another mummified remain that he called an alien back in 2017. It was debunked. And this one here is taking the world by storm because a lot of people believe the Mexican government is the ones revealing this. They're breaking the magician's code and they're showcasing real aliens. When that's not the real story here. It is Jaime Maussan and his team that's presenting this. It's not the Mexican government. It's become widespread confusion. Basically, they platformed him and he presented. Not an official endorsement from the Mexican government, at least not as far as I understand here. So, now that you're brought up to speed, what have I found? What new information could have possibly come to light in only 12 hours? Well, this is going to open your third eye here. Get ready to activate your Sharingan because the truth's coming in hot. It turns out these alien bodies aren't new. In fact, these were debunked in 2021. There's a really great YouTube video that goes over exactly what these are. And according to this, they're not aliens. Now, before getting into the video, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what about all of the tests? And those haven't been, confirmed as faked or fraudulent or anything like that. So again, if the rest of the world truly does have access to this information and are invited out to actually study these mummified remains and conclude that they are real and authentic, that'd be amazing. Nobody wants them to be real aliens more than me and my dad. But it's just hard to really believe that because there are so many things working against it. I've seen a lot of cope from the community about why they look so stereotypically alien, like the movie depictions. And what they keep defaulting to is saying that people that worked on the movie sets modeled their alien design after real alien encounters and paintings from back in the day, or they'd actually seen aliens like at fucking Area 51 or something, so they made the costumes and the effects to look like that, so it'd be warming us up to what real aliens look like. And to me, that's just a load of baloney. We're teetering on Tumblr fanfic with that reach. I would like to ask you, what's more likely? That, or that whoever had these mummified remains modeled them after our perception of aliens from movies? It becomes even more likely that that's the case when you consider where it comes from. The source here, Jaime Maussan, whom is regarded by some as a hoaxer, who has had similar things in the past be proven completely wrong. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fucking please stop fooling me. You're making me feel dumb. It's, again, nothing's been 100% confirmed here, but I would just like to present to you the evidence here from 2021 with these bodies that suggest it's not actually alien remains.
Now let's study the X-rays of the small mummies. Ufologists go as far as calling them humanoid reptiles. So what do we see? Same stuff. A hodgepodge of human and animal bones.
The channel is called Scientists Against Myths, and they tackled this alien mummified remain phenomenon all the way back in 2021. They even use some of the same pictures that were presented to Mexican Congress last night. So I do believe these are the same mummified remains. I don't think there's any wiggle room to make a real argument that what's being analyzed by this channel is different than what was presented last night. I think it's pretty clear that these are the same.
Here's a mummy named Josephine. A real beauty. Instead of humeri, she sports femurs, or thigh bones. Her legs are even more baffling.
Immediately the question needs to be asked, if this is a real extraterrestrial body, why does it have the same bones us cringe-ass humans have? What are the odds that these aliens would evolve down a similar path we did and have the same bones we did, just in a different order and arrangement? That seems highly unlikely, but let's go ahead and paddle around in the kiddie pool of fantasy and assume that all intelligent life in the universe evolves down similar paths, So every single fucking life form out there in the cosmos has all of the exact same bones we do. Well, in that case, this species got fucked hard in the ass by evolution, because with the way these bones are arranged, it wouldn't even be able to move. They need some kind of evolution patched DLC update here, like a hot fix, because these aliens wouldn't be able to even take a single step.
One of the thigh bones is actually a femur, only facing the wrong way around, while the other one is a tibia. And they are completely mismatched. With the hip bone, there's no joint there at all. The poor humanoid wouldn't have made a single step. Some of the bones are simply chopped off.
So even if you go ahead and write off the coincidence that the aliens have the same bones we do, how could you possibly write off that the way their structure is set up would mean they can't move? Evolution doesn't really work that way. It wouldn't have made it this far if that were the case. And it's getting me gassy, so I'm just ripping mean ass right now. All of this alien stuff has just been so fascinating, and this video says that some of the bones were just chopped off, like kind of just chopped willy-nilly. That wouldn't really happen naturally at all. It suggests that they were made like this, with just an absolute fucking mishmash of different bones going in different places in order to look alien-like.
Note this asymmetry here. The fingers are a total mess too. The first pseudophalanges are facing in different directions on her left and right hands, with the white part facing up or down. Well, they just forgot to turn them the right way. Stuff happens.
That's pretty damning. Some of the bones are just facing the wrong way because whoops-a-daisy. And like I mentioned, some of these photos that are in this video from 2 years ago were the same ones that were presented last night. Most notably, the alien with the 3 eggs in their tummy. The pregnant alien carrying the triplets. That is in this video. That same X-ray photo was presented last night. So I think we can say with a high level of confidence that all of the information presented for these corpses 2 years ago applies to the corpses shown last night. They are the same. And if that is the case, then a very interesting component of these remains is actually the skull.
French paleontologist Julien Benoit thinks that those who crafted the small humanoid mummies used skulls of some small mammals for their heads, such as a llama or alpaca. Comparison shows that the reptiloid's cranial cavity fits perfectly the cranial cavity of a llama. The skull was then rotated so its back part faces forward. The reptiloid's face is actually the back of the poor llama's head.
I trimmed this up just a little bit to keep it brief, but they make an extremely strong argument for why this alien skull is actually that of a llama skull. The bulbs, the brain hemisphere, all of it matches up perfectly with a llama skull. The only thing is they cut out and rotated it. And the question then becomes, well, where would they get a llama skull? And the video answers that too. According to one of the historians, back a long time ago, there was actually burials for llamas in the area where these mummified remains were found. So they would have had easy access and readily available llama skulls at the site.
Where could the mummy forgers have gotten a llama skull? Historian Yuri Bereskin has told me that pre-Columbian peoples of Peru often made llama burials. Here's a fresh report about finding buried llama mummies in Peru.
Overall, I think this video makes an extremely compelling case for these being forgeries, not actually alien mummified remains or anything. Now, I have seen that the newest presentation here has the bones in the correct alignment in terms of like the ones that were backwards here in the video. Apparently, what might have happened is they recognized the error first off and then just rotated the bones properly. Though it still doesn't fix the underlying issue of why the fuck would an alien have all of the same bones we have? Like, there is still just no good explanation for that other than it just being completely fraudulent, really, and that this isn't a real alien remain. But, like I said, I would love for this to be the real deal, completely legitimate, and hopefully soon scientists from around the world will actually go investigate, either confirm or deny the findings, and conclude once and for all if these are real aliens, or if it truly is just a complete forgery here of some mummified remains, if it is just a bunch of bones from a bunch of different things thrown together into this creature here. So, I guess we'll see. I just wanted to show this to you because I found it to be extremely interesting, and yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Can you ask your dad to confirm if the garden alien from the Alien Bodies subreddit is real? Is there another alien body floating around like the ones in Mexico? Let me take a peek. Alien Bodies? I'm unfamiliar with that subreddit. This looks like the thing from Harry Potter when they pull up like the screaming plant. This is thought-provoking. So is this a satire subreddit or is this like real? Different nostrils, but it appears to have the nipples. My god, it does. So we're not so different after all. Searching through these posts, but I don't understand what's going on here. Are people claiming this is a mandrake root and that the posters are all hoaxers? What are we looking at here? Obviously they, whatever they are, look visually interesting and sort of humanoid, but surely someone is not just sitting around with these things if they're actual biologics of some sort. First thing you do if you have actual bodies is you go straight to Ross Coulthart or George Knapp, I don't know who they are, not post it on Reddit and ask Redditors what they think it is. Not a match, the fingers look different. Where are the fingers on this thing? Forbidden potato. It does look potato-esque. It's definitely just some sort of prop. Like, this isn't... this isn't a fucking alien. There's no way. I do love the nipples on it, though. That is adorable. Muda made a video on this? How? What? Muda already made a video on this. When? Muda covered this in a 20-minute video. It was made by some guy who makes cursed items. Case closed. It's been a thing for days now. And nobody told me? You know I love this shit. What do you think real aliens would look like? I've said this 100 times and I'll say it 100 more. I think real aliens look insectoid. That is what I imagine. I don't think they will resemble anything close to humanoid. Not even remotely close. But would they have a cloaca? They probably wouldn't pee or poop. I don't know. Well, they'd have to. There has to be some way of getting out waste. Or maybe they're so efficient they don't have any waste. Hear about the U.S. Army pilot who allegedly spent 3 months on an alien mothership and even hung out with 2 of the aliens. Is it these 2 right here? And why wouldn't he give us more information? Like, why didn't they give him his their contact info? Look it up. His story sounds pretty legit, I swear. How does his story sound legit? He hung out with 2 aliens over the course of 3 months? Humans to find alien ruins soon, says ex-U.S. Army pilot who claims he spent 3 months on a UFO. Alex Collier, who served time as a helicopter pilot in the Army, claims he spoke to 2 aliens in the 1980s. A former United States Army helicopter pilot claims to have spent 3 months on an alien mothership and has said that humans will find ancient alien ruins in the universe soon. Alex Collier, I just read that. He allegedly spent time with aliens known as Andromedans, who were called Visasis and Moroani. This guy is writing fanfic. What the fuck? Why would they have human names? He wouldn't be able to understand them. What? They take a Rosetta Stone course or something to communicate with Alex? This man had a mental breakdown or a really bad ayahuasca trip. He insists his encounter with the aliens was so extraordinary that he was taken onto their spaceship. There he was forced to wear a special belt so the aliens could communicate with him over 3 months. Oh my god, that's so convenient. I'm sure. They actually put the fucking Wumbo belt from SpongeBob on him. Amazing. The ex-pilot claims that this strange encounter happened in the 1960s when he was a child. He recounted that he fell asleep outside his grandfather's home while playing hide-and-seek. When he woke up, he found himself in a dark room where he met Visasis and Moroani. He spent nearly 3 months with them on the UFO as per his claim. However, that only transpired to 18 minutes in Earth time due to time dilation or alternate dimensions. He had a dream! He fell asleep. Yeah, you know what? I actually went to an alternate dimension last night. You guys wouldn't believe the shit I saw there. It was crazy. Shit was unreal. You can't prove that he's lying. I hate that argument. The alien duo apparently told him that humans are not alone in the universe and that there are many other alien races. During a talk he gave in Japan in 2007, he said, "Our science tells us that there are 100 billion galaxies, but we are only looking at one dimension. According to the Andromedans, there are 100 trillion galaxies, and every galaxy has life in it. We are far from being alone. The universe is vast. We are just beginning to travel space, and we are going to find ruins everywhere." Why would they communicate with a fucking child if they're trying to get a message to us? A random child. In the 1960s. This kid. He'll be the one. He'll be our vessel. He added, "I once asked the Andromedans how technologically advanced we were, and they said that the United States Army is 400 years more technologically advanced than we think they are." What does that mean? What? I once asked the Andromedans. I'm drawing a blank. They're communicating on an alternate dimension. This belt must have malfunctioned because there's no way that's a direct translation from Visasis. What does that mean? What does that mean? What? Then who thinks they are? Then the United States thinks they are? Then a child thinks they are? Then the aliens think they are? What is it? Who? It's in the military's interest to obfuscate. So the Andromedans are trying to reveal government secrets through a child. They don't know. They don't want us to know about Area 51, and Visasis was trying to protect us. Visasis, one of the aliens, allegedly told Mr. Collier that humans are the only race on Earth that use money. No shit! We're the only race on Earth that use money? We're the only race on Earth that's fucking sentient! We're the only race on Earth, like the only species that does that. Of course. Do you mean the universe? Is Visasis illiterate? Did he just get, like, abducted by two dumb aliens, like actual idiots? Like fucking morons in their galaxy? From that moment on, Visasis would only refer to money as paper with pictures on it. Jesus, he's a pretentious Redditor. He got abducted by the worst aliens the galaxy had to offer. Or rather, the dimension had to offer. Probed a little too deep. Yeah, they went way too far on that one. We lost them. Octopus use currency to pay for things? I guess I don't know enough about how octopi function in the wild, but they're not using money. How about that? Maybe they use some kind of currency for trade, but they're not using the USD or the euro or rubles or anything. They're using fucking octopus tokens. What do you even find down there? Can we get Charles Sr. to firsthand explain to us in chat how aliens or how pyramids are made by aliens? My dad and I have been really we have been talking about that so much recently. He really wanted me to watch Ancient Aliens Pyramid episode, so I did. That was so fucking silly, it was unreal. So then I ended up doing a deep dive on some more Ancient Aliens, and I ended up showing him one of the episodes where they thought that, what was it? Aliens were crossbreeding with robots, and Sasquatch was actually an alien or something. A YouTuber named Gabby Bell also made a video on it too. But I started showing him like how ridiculous some of the Ancient Aliens episodes and concepts were. And he's like, yeah, oh, that's super stupid. That's all a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But the pyramids, they're absolutely right about. They know their shit when it comes to the pyramids. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck? 99% of the things they say you disagree with, but the one thing there you think they nailed is the pyramids being built by aliens? He's like, yep, oh, absolutely. They know their shit there. It's sad how ancient humans are so much underestimated. I tried to tell him that. My dad really believes that ancient civilization was just a bunch of fucking bumbling fools. He's like, there's no way they were smart enough to even know what a pyramid would be. And I'm like, Dad, they weren't dumb. They weren't stupid. Like, we came from them. Like, they obviously had some level of advancements. Like, there's so many good astronomers back in the day. Like, they were smart. Like, they were smart people still. He's like, nope. Dummies. Bunch of dummies. And, like, the reason pyramids got built in the first place is because a pyramid is, like, the most structurally sound structure you can make, which is why there's so many all over the world from ancient civilizations. But he refused to take that answer. He's like, nope. They wouldn't know that. Aliens taught them that. I'm like, damn it, Dad. No, they didn't. Didn't someone make a really primitive computer in Greece or something? You're talking about it is Greece. You're talking about the oh, what's it called? What was the name of it? Yep, here it is. The Antikythera mechanism. Our society could look a lot different today if this was able to continue to be built upon. This is an extremely advanced piece of tech from back in the day. I remember we watched something on this a long time ago. Does it use Windows? No, it's Linux based. This shit was crazy. I recommend checking it out, looking into it a bit. I think it was the BBC that made something on it. Flintstones tech. Hey, it was some sophisticated Flintstones tech though, brother. Imagine ancient humans were able to build 4090s. I really think society today would look so different if this was able to keep being advanced. It was way ahead of its time. It's time you and I have a very important talk. Might be an awkward discussion, but it's a very significant one in every person's life. The old birds and ETs. We need to discuss aliens a little more in depth because there's a lot of misinformation floating around about what I believe in when it comes to these beautiful cosmic bastards out there, and, well, I want to set the record straight. All of you know, my dad loves aliens. I'd argue he's one of the biggest alien enthusiasts in this country right now. And he's very passionate about this topic. So am I. I am also very passionate about aliens, but more so because I find a lot of the theories that pop up about aliens visiting us, and here's UFO footage, and it's just like this poorly photoshopped image of two colanders stacked on top of each other, wiggling around in 240p, and it's black and white and just blurry out the wazoo. They're like, no, it's real footage of a UFO flying around. Like, I laugh at that kind of stuff. Or like the alien bodies that keep being discovered. Like the fucking potato alien from 3 days ago, where people were convinced there was an alien in someone's garden because they had this like interdimensional cosmic abortion that just plopped into their garden. They're like, look, finally, irrefutable proof to convince all the doubters. We got an alien body. And it just looks like a shriveled up mushroom with nipples on it. Like, that does not look like an alien at all. And you also have to ask yourself the question, if an alien race is advanced enough to reach Earth, it means they've cracked faster than light travel, one, so they're already well beyond our comprehension technologically. How the fuck would they just crash land here and end up in someone's garden? Do they just come to Earth to die? Like, alright, we'll take the space cruiser out. I'm looking for a good place to just die. I'll choose Earth, and this one random person's garden seems like a nice spot. It just doesn't make sense. It's not like it's just going to be some freak accident where they crash into Earth and die, and our weaponry certainly wouldn't be effective against something that technologically advanced if they're able to visit us. It's just illogical. Like, that kind of stuff makes me laugh. So when it comes to aliens, I'm very passionate because the comical nature of it is unmatched, really. But I do still firmly believe there's alien life out there in the universe. It's too big for there not to be, in my opinion. I just firmly don't think they have ever visited Earth. Ever. My dad does not agree. We don't see eye to eye when it comes to aliens. My dad is a firm believer that aliens have not only visited our planet, but helped us evolve and advance. All the way back into ancient times. He is a big proponent of ancient aliens. And while I too am an enjoyer of ancient aliens, it's for an entirely different reason. It's because I think it is very entertaining because of how outlandish it is. Meanwhile, my father subscribes to the belief that Ancient Aliens is right on the money when it comes to like aliens building pyramids and Puma Punku and all of that kind of stuff. So I just want to set the record straight. I believe aliens are out there. I feel like you'd be a fool to think that we're alone in the universe. I just really have seen no compelling evidence that convinces me they've ever visited Earth in any way, shape, or form. But my dad very much disagrees. And he wants to do some kind of like panel where he tries to like really convince me of it. Like he wants to put together like a video showcase of it, which I've encouraged him to do because I think it'd be amazing. But we haven't done that yet. I also went a little bit deeper on stream about like my dad's alien beliefs versus mine. So I'm just going to go ahead and play those clips. I just don't want there to be any more confusion because I keep seeing people say that I don't believe in aliens or something. Or on the other side of the spectrum, people saying that I believe aliens helped us build the pyramids and fucking blessed us with fiber optic internet or something. Like all kinds of different things because wires are getting crossed here. Because my dad talks about aliens so much and I talk about my dad talking about aliens so much. And then everything just gets all, you know, confuddled into like this, you know, knowledge soup. So I just wanted to make it very clear here. But anyway, here's the stream clips that go a little more in depth. it's kind of already been cracked, but he just doesn't believe the official explanation because my dad, he's like an engineer, and he just really doesn't believe that people back then would be able to make these cuts on these blocks. And that's the thing he harps on a lot. He just really thinks people back then were stupid as fuck. He really does. He thinks not only were they stupid, they just didn't have tools to make cuts on stone. Well, at least cuts like this on stone. The H blocks. So how did they do it? According to my dad, the aliens did it for him. He doesn't have an explanation as to why. He just thinks the aliens came down here and just fucking started carving H on these blocks. He doesn't really have like a reason as to why. He just says, well, we can't know, they're smarter than us. And I'm like, damn, that's such an easy cop-out. If aliens did help make it, why the hell would they only use stone and not give early humans advanced metal or something similar? Are they stupid? That's what I said. Like, we're just basically just reliving like our arguments that we have back and forth, and they're not arguments, like they're good-spirited. But like I always say, if the aliens did this, why? And he just says, well, we can't know, they're smarter than us. Okay. And then I say, if aliens did this, why are they still using primitive shit? You could have easily made this out of like metals or something. And usually what he'll say is the aliens wanted to teach humans how to do it, to help them advance or something along those lines. And I'm like, if they wanted to do that, why didn't they leave any other messages or instructions? And he says they did. It's called the pyramids. They're perfectly aligned with Orion's belt. It's their message to us. And I say, what is that message? He's like, well, we don't know. They're smarter than us. We can't possibly know. And I'm like, well, it's a fucking very ineffective message then, isn't it? I used to watch Ancient Aliens back in the day, bro. The shit they come up with is hilarious. They unironically said the Bible story about Jonah being swallowed by a whale is false. He was actually abducted by an alien submarine. We talked about that yesterday. Yeah, my dad fully disavows 99% of Ancient Aliens, but really believes that they know their shit when it comes to the pyramids. And I guess Pumapunku by extension, because they covered that. They have a whole goddamn episode on, like, Sasquatch being an alien, or dropped off by aliens or something. I already forgot. Have you heard of the Intergalactic Federation? That's kind of part of the secret space program. They're adjacent. But yes, I am familiar. This even got referenced in 2020, if you guys remember this. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. He said, a galactic federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. So this kind of kicked that whole thing off. What's the most heated alien argument you had with your dad? I don't know. Heated's just not the right word, because it's always comical. Like, we're usually both giggling, but he's very passionate about it. So I guess he kind of gets heated. He'll start, like, really, like, raising his voice about it. He's like, Charlie, I built cars for fucking 50 years. I know engineering. The people back then didn't have the tools or the fucking brain power to build the pyramids. It's simple engineering, son. When are you gonna stop being so stupid? But, like, he's not being mean about it. He's just getting, like, really animated. Speaking of Ancient Aliens, remember that episode where they said giraffes used to have short necks? Blame it on the aliens? Or am I on crack? That sounds like Ancient Aliens. There was even a whole meme for a while that was passed around Reddit where they had Sukalos, who my dad fucking loves. Before I, like, watched more Ancient Aliens outside of the homework he assigned me with the Pyramids episode, my dad was like, Charlie, you gotta look at this guy. His name is Giorgio Sukalos. He knows his shit. And then it turns out he's the guy from all the memes where he does this and it just says, aliens. He's that guy. And I felt almost shame. I was like, Dad, no. Not Sukalos. This can't be your expert source. It can't be. And sure enough, it was. And Sukalos is like the worst offender of just blaming everything on aliens. So in the pyramid episode, I think it was Sukalos, there was like a speculation like, this pyramid didn't have a tomb in it. So then why was it the way that it was? And Sukalos comes in and said, well, it's because they were communicating directly with aliens in the intergalactic cosmos far, far away. And he's like, well, do you have a source for that? Like, that's quite a leap. Like, how do you know that? Sounds like he's just messing with you. Doesn't sound like he actually believes it. No, 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 no. No, you couldn't be more wrong. Since I was a child, my dad has been on the aliens and pyramids. I remember being a baby boy, a toddler, and my dad would try and have these profound talks with me where he'd sit me down and be like, listen, son, it might not be this year, it might not be 10 years, it might not be 20 years, but one day, you're gonna see, we're gonna find out that the aliens built those fucking pyramids. We will learn that the aliens helped us advance in our primitive stages. Like, I remember as far back as my brain will allow me that he has always been on that. Since day one. He's committed to the joke. It's not a joke to him, I'll tell you right now. Even tonight he texted me. He's like, so I see you talked about those stupid garden alien potato things or whatever. What did he say again? You say, what's that new alien vid? Bunch of bullshit. You gotta do one about Puma Punku. Love you. That was at 8:23. He is always on alien mode. You know what it is? I talked about this on stream. I'll mention it again. I think what happened is my dad, when he was a teenager, he always like believed that, like, he just really, because my dad is, like I said, he does so much engineering and has his whole life. He just really can't wrap his head around people back then being able to make like sophisticated stuff like pyramids and fucking giant H's, I guess. And I think he probably for a while harbored this belief that it must have been the aliens because it's so advanced, but was probably more open-minded to it, like to being proven wrong, like, hey, no, that's not what happened and here's how they did it, which we have a lot of evidence to support a lot of theories on how these things were made. But what happened, what really cemented him in this way, is my dad's roommate was a U.S. Army lieutenant? No. Major? I think it was a major. I can't remember the order. But he was a pretty high-ranking like a person in the military, and he worked at a MacDill Air Force Base, which is a huge Air Force base in Tampa. And they were roommates for the longest time. Even like after leaving the military, they remained roommates, remained very close. And he was an alcoholic, unfortunately. Very sad set of circumstances. He was not in a good way. But my dad swears by this story that he was telling the truth. One day, his roommate came back, fucking blasted, per usual, and he told my dad that, that day on the base, they had recovered an alien corpse, and that MacDill Air Force Base had an alien body there. And my dad swears by it, fucking swears by it, that he wasn't being lied to. He was in his right mind enough to reveal that information. Like, he's usually very tight-lipped. This isn't something he would normally do. It probably rattled him to the core. And I think that was the moment the switch was flipped in my dad's brain where it's like, okay, I'm right. Aliens are here, and they've been here. I think that's what happened. When really, what I think happened is the guy had a lot of mental problems, alcohol abuse, a lot of terrible things, and I think it may have just been associated with that. I don't think they actually had a fucking alien body on the base. You gotta find that guy and see if he was telling the truth. Well, I need a Ouija board for that because he's dead. Yeah, he passed away. So that information is, that's with him now, in the afterlife. The aliens got him. He knew too much. That's probably what it was. Thanks for the gift sub, Couch. What kind of information do you think was lost in the Library of Alexandria? You don't think the Egyptians had sophisticated tools? Well, hey, what the fuck? I have been firmly on the side of the people back then were still very smart, very resourceful, and actually had a very good understanding of, like, tools and all of that. They had the means at their disposal to make these things. Wait, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm on your side. Thanks for the resub, Hubie. But as for the Library of Alexandria, God only knows what information was lost in that. They had Stanleys back then. Yeah, they probably fought wars over Stanley Cups back then. I did more research on Sukalos. Motherfucker unironically said Excalibur was an alien laser weapon. That does sound about par for the course. That's the Giorgio Tsoukalos I've come to know. Archaeology degree checking in. The thing with Pumapunku is simply we have not found the tools they used. Look up Cyclopean masonry. Ancient Greeks and Romans saw these walls of huge, perfectly fit stones and figured, surely only Cyclops could have built this. 1,000 years later, we figured out what tools they used and decided the OG theory was cringe. Well, from what I recall, and it's been years since I bothered digging into Pumapunku, they actually did find the molds for tools they used to carve out the H-blocks, and the tools, like the molds, what they were making, would be able to make those cuts. So I don't think there's a lot of mystery left to it, from what I remember. You ever wonder if there was a case that we did see actual proof of alien life, but just wrote it off as fake because it looked so unbelievable? I don't think anything that the general public has ever seen was alien, like real alien life. But I do think there's probably been like maybe something through like one of the, like, I don't know, maybe the James Webb Telescope or something that they've seen. It's like, oh, that's like actual alien life that they just haven't published. That's what I think. I don't think there's anything layman like you and I would have seen. Does your dad believe in the Men in Black? If so, what are his thoughts on them? No. The statistics of there not being alien life is unfathomably higher than the statistics of there not being life. The chances of us intersecting is also astronomical. I've said a million times, I firmly, truly believe there's alien life out there. I just don't think it has ever crossed paths with Earth. I really don't think that's happened. Ever. Do you by chance know about the signal that came from space in 1977 that we never really found out where it came from? Oh my god, not the fucking WoW signal again. We're not going down this shit. We're not doing this again. We've already covered the fucking WoW signal. Not again. Next we're gonna get into warp drives or some goofiness. No more. No more. We've barked up that tree plenty. Have you heard of Teotihuacan? It's an ancient city in Mexico that ancient aliens believe is an alien computer. Their proof is that it looks kind of like a circuit board. I'll be the judge of that. I know my way around circuit boards. I'm guessing this one is the most circuit board-esque. Maybe there's a reason why aliens don't visit. Like, what can they do with a bunch of old dinosaurs? Thanks for some spaghetti. There's just so many different ways you can toss around that thought experiment. I just think faster than light travel is probably just not cracked by any life right now, would be my guess. And even if it was, I don't think they would touch us. They just be no reason to. They wouldn't need anything from us. If they have faster than light travel, we can offer them nothing. Except memes. And OnlyFans, I guess, if they don't have that in their world. Search the Teotihuacan alien computer. It shows a comparison with a real circuit board. I didn't need more convincing. I already bought in, but sure. Those bastards. They hid their circuit board in plain sight. And they thought they'd get away with it. They thought they were slick. Don't show this to your dad. I don't think my dad would believe in that one. Though I wonder if I, like, dressed it up well enough. Like, Dad, you know, we may not see eye to eye on all the pyramids and stuff, but what do you think about Teotihuacan alien computers? And he'd probably hit me with question marks and be like, check this out. I saw this today, and it turns out this entire place is a giant alien circuit board. And I bet he'd be like, I told you! I knew it! I'd maybe just need to put it in the right context. Because I feel like if I just came at him like, what do you think of this? He'd be like, it's kind of baloney. But if I let in like, I'm starting to believe it, he'd probably be like, okay, this might be some good shit. You gotta start making up your own conspiracies to convince him. Hire some artists to create some fake images for you. That's just diabolical. That is something I wanted to do on Facebook. I think it was about 5 years ago. And I was getting pretty serious about it. I was drumming up my own conspiracy, and I was going to hire some artists to start putting together like a lot of material for it, and I was going to start spreading fake conspiracies on Facebook for fun. But I ended up not doing it. There are many planets that look like they can support alien life. What do you think they'd look like? Again, insectoid. I said it yesterday. I think they'd look insectoid. Like, I don't think they'd be fuckable. I don't think they'd be hot. I think they'd just look like bugs. Did you hear that the Las Vegas alien body cam video is apparently legit, according to expert examiners? Who are the expert examiners? Hey, this is my Uncle Steve. He said this shit is super real. Like, who do you even call in? The scientist from Independence Day that gets strangled to death? Yeah, they didn't even contact my father, so I already doubt these experts. Las Vegas alien videos previously missed detail proves authenticity, expert says. You can't deny it. Watch me. Boy, do I have some cold water to throw in your face, expert. Let me take a peek. Oh my god, wait, it's this old one. It's the old one. This whole load of baloney. This load of barnacles. He's still on this. I thought this was new. You mean this load of proof? True, right, sorry. The irrefutable evidence. After, of course, the 20 ads that I get here. I'll get to it soon.
I was on the other side. I was helping my dad to clean the...
On that side of the house?
On the other side, yeah, in the backyard. So we were working on a truck. We were working on a truck and we were checking... Okay. So we were working, I was cleaning everything, put everything inside the little garage we had. Me and my brother, we just looked.
What's the detail that we all missed?
Yeah, me and him saw it.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious.
Can we go that side? I want to spend
Yeah, we can go look. No, any dogs or anything?
Is there something over there? Was that the missing detail? What's... Oh my god, what is this format? I paused the video and then there's like 7 videos just surrounding it. I just wanted to rewind.
Not gonna let me sleep tonight.
Oh yeah, I bet. I wouldn't be sleeping either.
Alright, so what was the missing detail there? Was there some kind of alien warp drive parked in the backyard somewhere? Just scooted in sideways? When a Las Vegas family told police they saw something not human in their backyard, they were not lying. A veteran crime scene recreation expert said. Scott Roeder of Evidence Room Animation and Exhibits used his expertise and motion tracking software to analyze the video of a purported UFO crash landing in Sin City in April 2023. He told News Nation they tried to debunk the responding officer's body cam footage or prove something was added to the video. Now, he said he is convinced there were 2 creatures creeping around the family's Las Vegas yard that night. All of our results came back as authentic, Roeder said. There's no editing. That is an original video. What do we... am I misremembering? Where are the 2 creatures? Is it this one? Are they here? A tall, skinny alien creature with greenish color.
This is you. And this is us.
Man's being hunted by Piccolo, I guess. I don't remember that in the body cam. Because I remember the incident, but I don't even remember the greenish tall guys. So that's the footage? Let me see it again. Enhance. How do you have something that looks this blurry in 2024? This? These glow-in-the-dark neon props from mini golf? Is this them? Why are they this color? Are they inflicted with gamma radiation? Or is it this one, which is even blurrier somehow? What is he using for a security camera here? A Motorola Razr? Jesus Christ, I can't see anything. Is this proof somewhere?
This is around the neighborhood. So here's the video.
So it's the audio. Why would it do that? I guess if it was really mad if they crash landed, like, fuck! And then he kicks a trash can.
¡Ay! ¡Permisar! Calmungarela, me canceles var eso. Cáelo, cherro, que chilica. Cáelo, cherro.
Are they in the sand? Did they bury underneath? Like a little crab? What am I looking at? What am I looking for? Are they in the RV? Maybe I missed something important in the sand. Hold on, what does he say about it?
But Metro... So they went in the backyard and one of the officers pointed at the floor and it was a perfect circle. Here's a photo of the circle I'm referring to.
Who gives a fuck? And that is the furthest thing from a perfect circle I've ever seen. That's very oblong. That's like edamame shaped.
Come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah, this is all old. I remember all of these. So what is the irrefutable proof that we missed? I don't understand. So this guy ran simulations to prove that there were aliens in his backyard that night? What kind of fucking simulations? Did he go in Blender and make a game out of it? Like, what do you mean? Roeder pored over the footage and watched it over and over until he finally spotted what he missed every time. 2 beings in the video at the same time, he told News Nation's show Banfield. Using motion tracking software that zeroes in on the source of motion, Roeder said he attached motion to a figure in the background to show that the movement of the shadow reflects the movement of a body that is attached to the head. We don't believe it's a floating head. We believe it's attached to a body, and the motion of that head from right to left is consistent with the motion that we see between the slats of the fence. The story has been fiercely debated since the streaks of lights lit up Las Vegas sky April 30th, 2023. Alright, let's take a peek at the irrefutable evidence that we all missed.
So this is a very slowed down screen recording I took, and I know everybody is trying to find the aliens in front of these guys, but I noticed something insane, and I want everybody, my 2 friends who will watch this, to take a look down, pay attention to 2 areas. We're going to look down here on the bottom right behind their fence and right up there, but we're going to first start down here because I found something crazy. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to what I believe is the creepiest part of this video. And I'm going to point out 2 things you need to pay attention to right here, which is the head. And if you look really close, there's actually a shiny black eye.
It's that alien that pops out of that dude's chest in Total Recall. He's here.
Hand. That, I believe, is some creature, non-human, crouching down. And that was its eye I just pointed at. And I want you to pay attention to what appear to be fingers running up the fence, as if it's kneeling down or something and peering out. And then there you go. See the fingers? And I think I go back and forth a couple times here, but it looks to me like...
Yeah, it's massaging the wood.
There's a little other, or a big creature looking through the fence on the bottom there, crouched down.
Whoa, this is irrefutable.
And then there's the fingers going right up.
How did we miss it?
Down, up and down. Just looks like almost a human hand crawling up the fence. And at the very beginning, you get it.
Well, now I feel like a damn fool after seeing
what's really
this.
Interesting about this is,
I'm assuming this isn't what Scott Roeder is saying is like irrefutable, completely authentic. Because apparently this guy's some kind of expert, and I don't think that would be the video. Because that is the stupidest shit I've seen in a minute. So where is Scott Roeder's video?
To another episode of Surviving the Survivor.
It is a fact that one man could not have made those 3 shots. It's a fact that John F. Kennedy was shot from the front, right, not the back. If you know how bullets react, you know that when a bullet goes into the brain or into the body or into the tissue, it creates a smaller hole on the entrance and a bigger.
What does that have to do with the aliens? Is he claiming aliens helped assassinate John F. Kennedy? I really want to believe that that's the angle he's taking. I'm going to rewind briefly. We are so off course now, but I have to know if he's blaming that on aliens.
All right, Scott. Let me jump in 1 second. So, Scott, is your claim? And I don't want to stay on this because we're delivering
it's
UFOs.
It's a ridiculous argument. I mean,
you
got to come to me more with
Scott. Do you believe there were 2 shooters? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, okay. Damn, it's not about aliens. Fuck, that would have been amazing if he's like, listen. If you analyze the Zapruder film frame by frame, you're going to see 5 extraterrestrials touch down and blast him with a ray gun. It's right there. We used our motion tracking software to confirm it.
Which I found initially, and I didn't even see or recognize the being or whatever it is above the fence.
Then you're a damn fool. I recognized it right away.
It was pointed out to me by a subscriber to a friend of mine's podcast. But once you see it, you can't deny it. So there's actually 2 beings in the video at the same time.
Where is his video? Once you see it, you can't deny it. Well, show it to me so I can stop denying it. Where is it? This is like the most nothing fucking video of all time. Like, actually, it is like the most fucking nothing video to hyperanalyze. Oh, we talked... So here's good news for the alien enthusiasts. While there's still no evidence of aliens having visited us anytime recently, There is evidence from a Cambridge scientist who found the markers of life on an exoplanet, I think it was 50 light years from us. What was it, disulfur monoxide or something? And it's only found from life, I believe. Yeah, I think it was disulfur monoxide. I already fucking forgot. But whatever they found is only present in life. Only produced from life forms. So, that's big news. That's very hype. It was 140 light years? Oh, I thought it was 50. Whatever. That's still cool.
We can take a video and look at whether or not there is an artificial artifact added to it or not. And in this case, we...
Why are you having this alien teabag, these gentlemen? What in the fuck does that prove?
Can definitively say, to a degree of scientific certainty, that this entity, this thing in the video, is there in the physical reality in which the Kenmore family is also there. Like, this is so critical because you can clearly see through the slots in the fence that there is a leg motion moving from the right to the left side of the screen. And clearly it is behind there. It's just what you were able to determine, that this shadow being, or this being...
Did he, like, boost the shadow? Because now I can see the shadow for the fucking first time. Let me go back to, like, an old one now. I can finally see that shadow that they're losing their mind about. So he must have really, like, bumped it up so it was more visible.
In the shadows, possibly creating its own shadow, or smoky filter, or cloaking technique.
Technique? You think this guy he's like participating in the Chunin exams? He's using ninjutsu? Cloaking technique, brother, it'd be like cloaking tech, and I don't think it'd be casting a shadow. That'd be really inefficient. That'd be like the worst cloaking tech ever. Turn yourself into like a new character in Super Smash Brothers you haven't unlocked yet.
But cloaking itself from the camera itself, in that it's minimizing our ability to identify pixels inside of that shadow.
I'm joined now by UFO
Her face really
Ben
says it all.
I don't detect anything overt as a red flag that I would say that made me suspect that it was edited.
I'm so curious. Why would it... Let's just assume he's 100% right. Why the fuck would an 8-foot alien just be walking around, stop at this fence, look at the camera, and then walk away? What? He probably would just leave the scene. He's probably like super tight that his Turbo Cosmo space cruiser crashed into a fucking backyard. He would be upset. He wouldn't be calm. While most of you were sleeping soundly in your beds, having wet dreams, I was up tossing and turning all night, just eagerly waiting, like a kid on Christmas morning, for what the Pope was about to say in regards to aliens. If you're confused by that statement, it shows me that you're already so naive and it makes me sick. You're living in the dark. The deep state's controlling your mind and it's time you break free. And let me be the guiding light to get you there. The Vatican had scheduled a live stream where they were going to go over supernatural phenomenon and even aliens themselves, potentially, according to many headlines. The live stream was slated for this morning, and as of 2 hours ago, that live stream happened. I don't want to get into spoilers, but this was universe-shattering shit. Let me first lay down the groundwork for the lore about what the live stream was supposed to pertain to, then I'll give you the debriefing on what happened. Here the Pope is going to be holding a live press conference tomorrow to talk about aliens. We live in the golden age of aliens right now. The Pope is talking about aliens? Pope set to hold press conference on aliens and supernatural. This is what I'm talking about! It's about time! Let's see what the Pope had to say about the aliens. Okay, never mind. The Pope is demanding that I pay the sun. What is this? This is so ridiculous. A word from Larry Kudlow, and that word is go fuck yourself, I guess. I hate modern journalists. I'm not paying just for access to a fucking article that you probably lifted from the tweets anyway. It's a radio station. That's what it seems like. 99.9. The Pope station. This one's tuned directly into God. Did you hear Jesus is going to be making a guest appearance at the Pope's press conference? Can you imagine that lineup? This would be like Coachella, but for religion. The Pope, Jesus, aliens, all we need next is Job. That'd be a wild lineup. They would go so hard. The Vatican is scheduled to release documents pertaining to the supernatural and other phenomena, and others are suggesting even about aliens. What's going to happen? According to the National Catholic Reporter, documents will be released that were prepared by 3 investigators. The document is set to explain the new norms considered by the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith about such issues. They have 3 Vatican investigators? Who are they? Is it like Russell Crowe from The Exorcist? Was that more of like a documentary than anything? What is this? The dicastery for the doctrine of faith. This is I'm very new here. Here's the Holy Father tab. Okay. The last time a report like this was released was in 1978. The Vatican has now prepared papers that share the Pope and the Church's guidelines when it comes to things like apparitions and supernatural phenomena. Social media sites, blogs, and others interested in the discovery of the possibility of the existence of aliens and the proof thereof have been buzzing on different platforms, speculating about what will be put forth in the papers. A few media outlets are hinting that there would be something earth-shattering at the news conference, but that doesn't seem like the case. Tomorrow's press conference will be live-streamed, and the press conference will be led by Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, who will speak about the Church's view on various items like apparitions and supernatural phenomena. In addition, the doctrine does comment on the Church's view about faith concerning aliens. Why? It's an easy explanation. According to the National Catholic Reporter, it is being done so after a surge in reporting of aliens and supernatural phenomena from the mainstream media. Okay, so this just sounds like they're going to say, like, yeah, if there are aliens, they're, like, totally Catholic. Like, we're, like, completely fine with that. It doesn't seem like they're putting forth their own evidence of their existence, more so about their perspective on aliens versus the faith. That's a lot less hype than I was expecting. I thought the Pope was going to come out there with, like, a fucking alien head, slap it on the desk, and be like, yep, here they are. And this is the proof. I'll watch the live stream, but I'm not expecting anything earth-shattering here from the Pope press conference. What time is it? I'll set an alarm so I can be there right on time so I don't miss anything. 12 p.m. Like Eastern? 12 p.m. what? Central? 12 p.m. Pope time? Like, I don't... What does he operate on? Okay, not even the Reddit's all that pumped. Yeah, I'm not expecting much, so I guess we'll see. I'd love to be pleasantly surprised. The Pope podcast about aliens? Well, it's more than a podcast. He's going full-blown live stream. I don't know if it's on Kick, Rumble, or maybe they have their own dedicated service. Do you think the Pope will talk about the Kendrick versus Drake beef? I know we gathered you all here about, like, supernatural, apparitions, aliens, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Chupacabra, gnomes, goblins, whatever, but let's talk about the Kendrick versus Drake beef for a second, huh? Isn't that shit crazy? Well, aliens are definitely real. 100%. There's aliens out there. I think you'd be a fool to think we're alone in the universe. I just know that they're not here. And I don't think they ever have been. Maybe, like, aliens scanned us at one point. I think maybe that has, like, a slim chance. They got us with, like, a fucking UAV after a 3-kill streak somewhere in the cosmos. But other than that, nah, I highly fucking doubt aliens have ever been here. People always misconstrue my stance on aliens. I 100% believe... It's more than a belief. I know aliens are out there. I just really am... I also know they haven't been here. I don't really feel like reading all this. Why in the fuck would aliens be traveling across the galaxy in the golden snitch from Harry Potter? Like, this looks like a Christmas bell. Like, what is this needle? Like, this is... I mean, this is like steampunk almost. You can't be serious. There's no way. Well, can't argue with that. The Vatican Alien E3 showcase has concluded. It was about 2 hours long, and I have no fucking idea what they were saying. There's no subtitles that were available for it, So I had to wait for it to be translated by others so it could be fed to me, baby birded, just vomited into my mouth about what was discussed. And the answer couldn't have been more underwhelming. This was like the Willy Wonka experience, but for adults. It's so fucking lame. Basically, they just came out with these set of rules and guidelines that would help people avoid being the victim of scams and hoaxes. So, since alien sightings and UAPs and all types of supernatural phenomena are being reported so frequently, and a lot of times, well, every single time pretty much, it's all from bad actors fraudulently just using this as a way of making money off it or generating headlines. The Vatican decided to come forward and tighten its grip, just get like this titty twister on it, and let people know, from now on, only a pope rather than local bishops can declare apparitions and revelations to be supernatural. So that's a pretty vague term, that's kind of all-encompassing, so if you see like a light in the sky that you can't quite explain, you can now no longer write it off as aliens or try and portray it as something other than, well, that was a weird light, until a pope comes forward and says, yep, that shit was freaky. That one's going in the alien logbook, son. So, from now on, only a pope has the power to declare something as supernatural. And this is basically just patch notes to their previous guidelines issued in 1978. And the reason they did this is to crack down on people falling victim to bullshit baloney. So, as mentioned here, some cases of supernatural phenomena were exploited for profit, power, and personal interest, or even a pretext for exerting control over people or carrying out abuse. There's a quote here that says, "The possibility of believers being misled by an event that is attributed to a divine initiative but is merely the product of someone's imagination, desire for novelty, tendency to fabricate falsehoods, or inclination towards lying." So overall, this press conference was about announcing these new rules which aim to streamline the process of declaring something truly supernatural, so that way people can avoid being scammed as frequently as they have been. So for everyone like me who wanted this press conference to have like eye-opening new information about aliens or anything supernatural, we were left high and dry, dick in hand, with nothing to eat here. This breakfast that they served up was a fucking nothing omelet, unfortunately. I mean, it's cool that they're doing something to try and crack down on people using supernatural sightings to exploit people. Like, yeah, that's obviously a good thing to try and, you know, tighten the screws on. But damn, the way that the media hyped this up really had me and many others believing that this might be something big. Like, the Pope comes forward, like, you know, pyrotechnics are going off, smoke shooting, they start playing the Undertaker WWE walkout music, and the Pope approaches the mic, flips down a pair of sunglasses, and says, "We're not alone." But that's not what we got from the live stream. Maybe one day, I guess we'll see, but yeah. That's the most recent alien update in the world. I keep my finger on the pulse of anything extraterrestrial, so yeah, anyway, that's about it. So yeah. See, Harvard published a study saying aliens may be living on Earth disguised as humans. I saw... It's not like a real thing, though. It's like a theory. But based on actually nothing besides, like, maybe they are. There's membership first. I haven't read the whole thing, though. Just little bits and pieces here. Let me pull it up. Aliens may be living among us disguised as humans, claims Harvard study. Recent Harvard University study has revealed that aliens might be living among us probably underground or on the moon. Please get this garbage off my screen. The Human Flourishing Program of Harvard University also stated that UFOs might be alien spaceships that are visiting to meet their alien friends living on Earth. Man, this sounds so real. Maybe the aliens come here because they have so many friends that they want to stop by and say hello to. So obviously the most efficient way of doing that is flying all the way across the goddamn universe in order to see their friends in person and say hi. More commonly referred to as UFOs and extraterrestrial beings could be living underground, on the moon, or even walking among humans. The research also explores the idea that UFOs are unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP. Paper also states that the author is aware of the depth of evidence and theory that also tentatively support another extraterrestrial explanation, the cryptoterrestrial hypothesis, linking UAP activity to the action of hidden non-human entities. Where is the evidence? Or anything grounded at all in reality? This theory claims that aliens might have traveled from the moon or other places to visit the Earth and hidden themselves among us. They traveled from the moon to Earth. Brother, that's like a walk in the scale of the cosmos. We would have seen them do that. Magical cryptoterrestrials These beings are like earthbound angels having magical rather than technological relationships with humans, like folklore creatures like fairies and elves. Isn't Harvard supposed to be prestigious? Is this in the paper? Or are they just going over all kinds of potential theories? Fairies and elves? The primary weakness of the theory is its perceived oddity, especially for those accustomed to conventional scientific explanations. You mean logic? The primary weakness. As if there's any strengths to it. Other than, like, I want to believe in this, so maybe it's possible. The researchers admitted that their research was likely to be regarded as skeptically by most scientists, but it urged the community to consider their claim in a spirit of epistemic humility and openness. What fucking research? Scrolling through Tumblr? Like, what? Where's the actual paper? Alright, I'm reading the actual paper now. This is ridiculous. Now I've got to see. I did not want to bother reading this paper, but whatever. Oh, here we go. From the Human Flourishing Program. What is this? Okay, let's start here. What is the Harvard Human Flourishing Program? That sounds like MK Ultra, except you're brainwashing college kids into being fucking idiots. The Human Flourishing Program, Harvard University. It's integrating knowledge across disciplines. Knowledge, huh? Fairies and elves. Founded in 2016, the Human Flourishing Program at Harvard aims to study and promote human flourishing. I love that. Please define human flourishing. What does that mean? Like, I'm flourishing by opening magic cards because it fills me with a sense of satisfaction. Would that classify as human flourishing? And to develop systematic approaches to the synthesis of knowledge across disciplines. This is just an absolute nothing statement. That's just buzzword for buzzword's sake. Many topics that are fundamental to human well-being, such as happiness itself, virtue, religious community, meaning, and purpose, have traditionally been viewed as principally falling within the purview of the humanities, often of philosophy or theology. However, robust empirical research literature of these topics is now developed from sociology, political science, economics, education, psychology, medicine, public health, and other empirical sciences. The program's research contributes to the broad question of how knowledge from the quantitative social sciences can be integrated with that of the humanities and questions of human flourishing and how best to carry out the synthesis of knowledge across disciplines. Hopes to bring greater unity to empirical social sciences and humanities. This actually told me nothing. You told me nothing with this. I came into this not knowing what this Human Flourishing Program aimed to do and how, and I'm leaving not knowing what it aims to do or how. Our research. Promotion of flourishing. It sounds like a cult. Promotion of flourishing. The Promotion of Flourishing project seeks to develop and evaluate properties of new measures of human flourishing, drawing upon happiness and life satisfaction, mental and physical health, meaning and purpose, character, virtue, and close social relationships. Alright, so this is the Human Flourishing Program. Your guess is as good as mine. Now, back up. What the fuck do aliens have to do with human flourishing? Magical fairies and elves? How does that fall into this department? The crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, a case for scientific openness to a concealed earthly explanation for unidentified anomalous phenomena. Thank you. Yeah, this is the one. Then we explore over 5 sections, limits to historical and geological knowledge, traces of lost civilization, traces of underground civilization, traditions around magical crypto-terrestrials, and UAP-related activity considerations, and UAP-related activity underground, underwater, and nearby, i.e. the moon. We conclude by noting that across these various considerations are actually 4 distinct CTH, whose merits we briefly consider. We recognize these CTHs may rightly be regarded skeptically by most scientists, but argue they nevertheless should not be ruled out and deserve consideration in a spirit of... Yeah. But, okay, let me see. There better be some fucking banger evidence. Show me some evidence about the magical fairies being aliens or whatever. It's all just complete fucking speculation, based on nothing. The ideas canvassed thus far, while not generally accepted by contemporary natural science paradigms, nevertheless still fit somewhat within their rough boundaries. Aliens on the ocean floor or subterranean hominids would be highly surprising but not genuinely metaphysically revisionary in any strong sense, and essentially just involve extrapolating from activities in which we humans already undeniably engage, from flying spacecraft to living in caves. What? This is nothing. It's just straight up nothing. We can't rule out the possibility that there are some magical crypto-terrestrials on the ocean floor. I mean, I fucking guess. I guess. Just like we can't rule out the possibility I shit my pants in the next 5 minutes. Like, it's super possible. Like, I could. I don't think I will. Like, I'm very confident I won't. But I guess we can't fully rule it out. It's just a statement that means nothing. Oh my god. Future human time travelers was just dropped in here with a source there. We're talking about fucking John Teeter again? Fucking time travelers and interdimensional beings? Is there warp drives in the paper? You know what? I'm going to control F warp drive. No. No warp drives, but there are Russian warplanes engaged with UFOs. Oh god, if warp drives came up, I would have blown a gasket. There, I'm not gonna just keep fishing through this. How odd. How odd. This dude's paper seems like it's his D&D campaign notes. So fucking true. Yeah. We need a deeper dive. A red thread. On that one Harvard paper. I have to... So, one thing I learned is that you can kind of publish anything. Well, not you as like just some random goober. But things will just get published without actually being fully peer-reviewed. So it doesn't necessarily constitute like real legitimate backing. You can kind of just do it. Have you heard of Daryl Enka? Not sure if he's crazy or a fraudster, but he claims to be able to communicate with / speak to an alien named Bashar. Bashar, huh? I'm unfamiliar with the cosmic entity known as Bashar, but I'd like to get familiar with them. Messenger of good news. Bashar, how to attract anything into your life by going gamma state. Huh?
Many of you are familiar with some of the different frequency states of your brain, and you know that
yeah, 93.3 the hits. Yeah, I know those frequencies.
Different kinds of modalities, different kinds of perspectives.
So this is Bashar talking to us right now, right? I'm guessing he's in his channeling stance. He's got like the TN tri-beam going with his hand, so I'm assuming this is the alien Bashar speaking to us through Daryl.
Many of you are also not familiar with the idea called the gamma state, which is between...
Did he just fart? Was that Bashar or Daryl that tooted?
Which is between 40 and 100 cycles
Man, just shat himself.
In your brain.
Cosmically. Quantumly.
In the typical channeling state. And this particular vibration allows you to experience in the neurological net of your brain more cohesiveness, more acceleration, more connection, more synchronization.
A lot of good buzzwords here,
while
Bashar.
Also simultaneously allowing certain neural pathways to actually close down. That is the gamma state. Also typically called the channeling.
Reading comments always make, like, this is all well and good. If you want to pretend to channel an alien and just spout a bunch of gobbledygook, all power to you. But it's the comments that actually just make me feel so sad. This resonates with me very much. Bashar says out loud what has been running in my head all along. Thank you for confirming that I am receiving the right information from my higher self. Oh my god, he's been teaching us how to access flow state all this time, which is something I've wanted for a long time. On top of that, he's saying flow state is the key to manifestation. Wow. It's like he's saying to a kid the key to life is to eat cake. Lots and lots of cake. Perhaps maybe I just don't understand the gamma state. Maybe I need to lock into flow state and then I'll be able to dunk on a 10-foot hoop. Perhaps I'm not being receptive to the wisdom of Bashar, the cosmic being. Wait, Danica Patrick has a YouTube channel? And she interviewed Daryl and Bashar? What in the world? What in the world? Bashar predicts humanity's coming great shift in 2024. Prepare yourself now. Bashar Sedana workshop. Oh my god, he goes in front of a class?
Hi, everyone.
Hey!
Someone who's lost in the song, an actor who becomes the part, in essence, is in a channeling state. But in that state, you can also access other portions of your own consciousness. You can access...
Oh, so Bashar lives inside of him.
Portions of information from throughout the universe.
Jekyll and Hyde style.
And make connections with other beings, other dimensions, what have you, depending on
Oh, never
how
mind.
you wish to focus the idea of that channeling.
He's interdimensionally traveling.
For me, this began... I received what I experienced to be a telepathic connection from Bashar and his people.
Okay.
In that one instant, an actual memory came back of having made an agreement with Bashar to do this before this life.
Okay.
And I understood in that moment that the UFO had been shown to me on purpose to get me to go in the direction I needed to go, so that by the time it was time for me to fulfill that agreement I had made, I would be ready. And
It's almost like the Rocco's Basilisk paradox. Very cool. Daryl, this is incredible stuff. What was the agreement? You'd agree to be his vessel so he could be a motivational speaker on Earth? That seems like a very underwhelming use of this cosmic being's powers. You're telling me that Bashar decides to use his abilities to just tell people to brush their teeth and eat well? And, like, have a positive mindset? That seems like a complete waste. Look at his website and his store. He's written 200 books since the 200 books since the 1980s. Jesus Christ, Bashar. You should show your dad this video. My dad doesn't believe in any of this shit. My dad just believes in the aliens building the pyramids. I don't know what to tell you. That's like the one, that's pretty much it. Like, this kind of shit he would absolutely laugh at. He wouldn't text me being like, Charlie, you hear what Bashar said today about our horoscopes? Isn't that some shit? Like, that. My dad doesn't believe in that. Can Bashar take over like Sukuna? I don't think so. I think so. He was describing the channeling state. I think he needs to get into the zone. And if he's not in the zone, I don't think Bashar has like a door to get there. I don't think the alien planet is sending their best. Yeah, maybe Bashar is kind of like a dweeb on his home world. But to us, well, not to us. To Daryl, he's super cool.
Bashar is really another entity, or whether it's a portion of my own consciousness or whatever. The altered state is real. The information seems to have the ability to help people do what they need to do to make the kind of changes they need to make in their lives. And for that reason, I figured that's reason enough to go ahead and see where this goes.
I didn't expect that. He's like, oh, so it could be an alien, an interdimensional being, or it could just be some part of my subconscious while I'm conscious. No, I like the channeling community. There was another channeler I used to watch frequently. God, what was his name? He was the one that would channel the Yael. I'll just do that. He was the one that was like, you will send your best and brightest to school this morning. It's a very good day for learning. Blasting at you live from the Yael headquarters. That guy? Who was that? Does anyone remember? No, this isn't the guy. It was an older guy. Yael were very talkative through a bunch of different channelers, but there's one in particular I'm referring to, and I can't remember his name. No, it is him. He made a rap song about them called Bringing in the Yael. Thanks for your sub, Kev. I don't think it is, though. He was much older, unless the Yael de-aged him.
We are of Ashtar Command. We are of the Pleiadians. We are of the Pleiadian civilization. Of the Pleiadian consciousness.
Billionaire Boys Club. Isn't that Kevin Spacey's movie?
Move through these ripples of time-space as your civilization, as your solar system moves into a new era of the galaxy, a new area of the galaxy, and a new
We
era
moved to a new
in
area of the
civilization.
galaxy?
The idea is that there are time fields, time-space equations.
Wonderful message. It repeated everything I've been seeing in my meditation. In your meditations, you've been seeing that we're changing the area of where we're located in the galaxy. That would cause such an immense change in daily life as we know it. That would be immediately recognizable. That couldn't just happen without us knowing. Oh, here we go. Bringing in the Yahyel. Music video with footage of Yahyel ship. Wait, this is huge. He's got footage from inside of their spacecraft?
Bringing in the Yahyel, bringing in the Yahyel, our family from the stars, on earth they will dwell. Bringing in the Yahyel, bringing in the Yahyel.
The kind of music to throw your ass in a circle to.
Bringing in the Yahyel, bringing in the Yahyel to get this party popping.
I feel like I've actually heard this before. I think you're right.
Rocking, and you know it's a boat that desperately needs to be rocked. We may all come together, there will go the shadow government. And I know you're thinking retribution, but it'll be different. Let me clear up this confusion. Cause
whoa!
It's gonna be love. We ain't gonna give
Damn.
nothing but kisses and hugs.
Yeah. Kiss and hug them.
And then
Yep.
extension of you. I know it's hard to discard the old ways of war, but see it through. Cause there ain't no us. We bringing in the Yahyel.
It actually might be the same guy. I could be misremembering. I thought he was much older. Because I'm pretty sure I've heard that song. That definitely opened some neural pathways the Yahyel wanted closed in my brain. Oh, this is a classic. This one's a classic. Teen girl abducted by praying mantis alien. Ancient alien. I've got to send that to my dad. My dad loves ancient aliens. How the fuck? Really, Dad? A girl abducted by a praying mantis alien? Ancient aliens. Aliens in disguise. Warn researcher. We've taken many humans. God damn it. Channeling the ninth dimensional Pleiadian collective. Interview with extra dimensionals. Here we go.
Ah, yes. Hello, dear. This is the Ninth Dimensional Pleiadian Collective, and it is a pleasure and an honor to have the opportunity to connect with you. So,
nice to meet you.
In a short time today, we think we're going to cover a pretty lengthy or a pretty substantial amount of ground. So we're very, very excited. So thank you for the opportunity to connect.
Absolutely. What's very interesting to me is all of these like ninth dimensional beings that are able to be channeled through these goobers are always just on standby. It's like they're waiting to be channeled. They must be like maybe interns of the other ninth dimensional Pleiadian society. Like they just have to sit around like fucking phone operators waiting for some human to channel them. That sounds like so boring. Yeah, just actually channeling a call center. Why does no one ever channel like a really aggressive alien? Or like a really cool one, like, hey, sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm fucking 5 3-titted alien babes. Call back in a moment. And then break connection. Nothing ever like that. It's always like, oh, it's such an honor to be speaking with all of you on Earth. This is a ninth dimensional Pleiadian collective reporting in live. What do you want to know? You need to watch Daryl connect to Bashar. It's hilarious. I just watched Daryl connecting to Bashar. Or does he have like a ritual for it? Alright, he's jacking into the upside down. Assuming athletic stance. Oh, good crack.
Sorry.
No apologies. Do what you need to do to get the aliens on the horn. Oh! Picked up a bad frequency there. Oh shit! We're losing him! He's going too deep! Bashar, let this man go! Where's the holy water? That actually sounds like Darth Vader's mask. Holy shit. What cool noises. Now, if he actually starts levitating, then I'll be impressed. No!
Boy, I'll say good day to you this day of your time.
Hey!
How are you all?
Don't yell at me, Bashar. What the fuck, man?
All right, I will take that as an okay.
Does he have an accent?
First of all, we would like to thank each and every one of you individually, and all of you together collectively.
I love how he put on an accent for Bashar this time, but then later on he got rid of it. He's like, I don't want to do that anymore. Bashar just lost his accent. His dialect, he outgrew. The old Yell guy you were thinking of is Sean Swanson. Is it? Hey, it's my boy. I think this is him, right? Yeah.
And the idea of, from your perspective, not of Earth, but human beings.
Yeah.
In
See,
that
I knew
sense,
it.
Very
I knew it.
similar in appearance to that then that you are familiar with Earth humans in your planet. We then are of another planetary location, and in that we actually have an origination of more.
Why do the Yael talk like that?